Chapter 1270, Humans Trash. Sickleblood's arrogant voice rang out in the arena. His ice-cold eyes stared at Duan Qinghan, who was ranked 9th on the prodigy roll, and his voice was incomparably sharp. The battle between the two races of the prodigy bridge was a battle between prodigies of the same rank and those of the same rank. Similarly, those ranked lower could challenge those ranked higher. This was a rule left behind by the Bloodstream sect in the past. The Demon Beast clan's Sickleblood directly challenged Duan Qinghan, who ranked 9th on the prodigy roll. Seeing Sickleblood's challenge, Duan Qinghuan's expression was extremely unsightly as he tightly clenched his fists. HMPH, you really think I'm afraid of a beast like you? Today, I'll chop you into pieces. Duan Qinghuan's expression was incomparably cold as his body moved, and he directly flew into the arena. After entering the arena, Duan Qinghan held an earthen yellow broadsword in his hand, and his body emitted a powerful earth attribute energy. Duan Qinghan, kill this beast. How dare a guy ranked 10th act so arrogantly? Kill it! Kill it! Tell them not to be so arrogant. Angry voices sounded in the surroundings, and the entire sky was filled with angry roars. The number 1 ranked Demon Beast clan had yet to arrive, and they still said that they didn't have the qualifications. The person ranked 10th even challenged the person ranked 9th. This was simply a blatant humiliation to the humans. Die! The humans in the arena shouted angrily. In the arena, Duan Qinghuan's eyes were filled with killing intent. Kiki, today I'm going to eat you. Sickleblood waved his 2 tails and stared at Duan Qinghan coldly. He said disdainfully, Human, I'll let you attack first. You're courting death. Seeing the arrogant words of this demon beast, Duan Qinghuan's eyes turned colder. He waved his arm, and a sharp earth knife flew toward Sickleblood. Hiss! 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 When Sickleblood saw Duan Qinghuan's attack, the triangular tongue in its mouth spat out black poisonous mist. In an instant, the area within 1,000 meters was covered by Sickleblood, and its entire body was hidden within. Duan Qinghuan's attack entered the poisonous mist, but there was no response. Oh, the poisonous mist domain of the Sickle Snake clan? Duan Qinghan had a serious expression on his face. His body shook, and an earthen yellow armor slowly covered him. He held his long saber with both hands and swung it forward heavily. Sky Splitter, damn beast, get out here! He roared, and thousands of earth sabers shot toward the poisonous fog domain. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. However, at this moment, the poison domain within a 1,000-meter radius suddenly covered Duan Qinghan. What can a small poison mist do to me? He roared as 4 earth shields appeared around him and spun around him rapidly. Dust explode. His body moved as he charged into the poison domain. Looking at the Sickleblood stained by the earth attribute energy, he directly killed it. In the surroundings, hundreds of thousands of people were staring at the battle in the middle of the arena. Many of them were cheering loudly. Not good. Wang Xian, who was standing outside, had a demonic look in his eyes. Suddenly he frowned slightly. Ah! At this moment, a scream of agony was heard from the black fog. Kiki, how can such trash be called a heaven's favorite? He's really trash. Humans are really trash. An arrogant voice came from the black fog, and the thick black fog quickly disappeared. Hiss this. What? This damned beast, shut up immediately. Bastard, how can Duan Qinghan be so weak? He was easily defeated by this demon beast. This demon beast is only ranked 10th. The black fog dissipated, revealing a scene that caused everyone to feel cold. The huge mouth of the sickle-tailed snake demonic beast bit Duan Qinghuan's head and slowly swallowed him into its stomach. Its eyes were filled with disdain. Duan Qinghuan's body was still trembling, but he did not have the strength to resist at all. This scene made all the humans feel extremely embarrassed. Gulp, tsk, it's really delicious. After it swallowed Duan Qinghan into its stomach, its triangular tongue stretched out and licked him. A hint of excitement could be seen in its eyes. It swept its gaze in the direction of Wang Xian and the rest. Come on next. Sickle Blood raised its head slightly and said with a face full of disdain. Haha, Sickle Blood, hurry up and get down here. Leave some food for us. That's right. It's been a long time since I've tasted delicious human flesh. Hurry up and get down here. Humans only know how to use some despicable methods. If we were to fight them head-on, we would crush them completely. At the back, a group of demonic beasts let out mocking voices as they laughed arrogantly. Hehe, humans are all a bunch of trash. In a one-on-one fight, they are completely no match for US demonic beasts. In the demonic beast crowd at the back of the arena, a 20-meter-long sickle-tailed snake raised its proud head and roared disdainfully. Behind it was a group of sickle-tailed snake demonic beasts. Their triangular eyes were filled with disdain. Damn it, these demonic beasts are too arrogant. The gap is too big. We, the 9th-ranked human genius, aren't a match for the 10th-ranked demonic beast genius, and we were killed so easily. The gap is too big, it's really too big. No wonder humans rarely get the title of supreme genius. The demonic beast genius this time is even stronger than the last one. As the rumors say, the demonic beast clan isn't a match for the human genius at all. Humiliation, this is a huge humiliation. All the humans around turned pale when they saw the arrogant demon beasts. In a one-on-one situation, humans were indeed much weaker than demon beasts. The dragon race was a good example. In the entire Transcendence continent, the dragon race was the strongest existence. Even humans had to bow down to them. However, even though everyone understood in their hearts, after being humiliated in this battle of the prodigies, everyone's faces were extremely ugly. I told you, the prodigies of your Luhai region are completely no match for the demon beast race. At this moment, around the arena, shopkeeper Qian looked at the battle below with a faint smile on his face. He said to Long Xiaotian and the other 6 or 7 youths beside him. He was not from the Flowing Sea region, so he did not care about humans being humiliated by demonic beasts. Looks like it's really a shopkeeper, Qian said, sigh. One of the youths shook his head slightly. Hehe. Among the elites of the Flowing Sea region, apart from the nameless sword demon, the others are all too weak. However, even that nameless sword demon is still far from being comparable to the demonic beast king. Shopkeeper Qian said with a faint smile. The surrounding youths were somewhat silent. The genius beast that killed the Blood Flow Empire had yet to come out. If he came out, who would be his opponent? Even the nameless sword demon couldn't do it. Chapter 1271. No was invincible in the demon race. What? Are you afraid? Where's the next person? Kiki, I hope you won't be a coward. Sickle Blood's voice rang out. He sat on the arena and stared coldly at the group of Heaven's favorites. His triangular eyes locked onto the 8th-ranked young Heaven's favorite. Okay. Let me kill you today and avenge Duan Qinghan. The 8th-ranked genius saw Sickle Blood's provocative expression and felt everyone's gaze on him. His face turned gloomy. His body moved, and he flew directly towards the center of the stage. Die! He didn't hesitate at all. A staff appeared in his hand, and a monstrous flame directly attacked Sickle Blood. Kiki! Sickle Blood let out a sinister cry, and with a light sweep of his scythe-like tails, a dark, scythe-like attack met the flame. Fury of the Earth Fire. The 8th Chosen's gaze was ice-cold, and his eyes were filled with solemnity. He gripped his staff with both hands, and scorching flames shot out from below, attacking Sickle Blood. You're not my match either. Sickle Blood let out a sharp sound, and just like before, black mist rose around it. HMPH, this move of yours is useless against me. The 8th Heaven's Chosen's expression was ice-cold as he stared at Sickle Blood. The resplendent staff in his hand emitted sparks of fire. The flames similarly enveloped an area of 1,000 meters around him. The dark space and the fiery red domain violently collided. The 8th Heaven's Chosen's eyes were like torches as he stared at the dark space. Spark! With a loud roar, a spark-covered sky appeared in the sky above him. Countless sparks flew towards the dark space and attacked. Kiki, darkness intersecting. Just as countless sparks flew towards the dark space, Sickle Blood's voice suddenly came out from within and directly attacked the 8th Heaven's Chosen. You've come out, right? Ring of Fire. The intense battle began. The 8th Heaven's Chosen was much stronger than the 9th Heaven's Chosen, so he could deal with Sickle Blood. Soon the two exchanged dozens of moves. Dark Fang. Devil Shadow Body. 3 minutes later, after they exchanged hundreds of moves, the Sickle Blood Demon Beast suddenly launched an attack. This caused his expression to change drastically. Admit defeat and quickly retreat. An old man around the arena saw this scene and hurriedly shouted at the 8th Chosen inside. When he heard this voice, he didn't hesitate at all and hurriedly fled out of the arena. There were no judges in the Blood Flow Sect's Chosen battles now. If one wanted to admit defeat, the only way was to flee the arena. Want to escape? Kiki, it's too late. At this moment, a sinister voice came from behind, causing his expression to change drastically. His arms shook, and a pair of flaming wings quickly condensed behind him. However, just as he was about to escape, his entire body stiffened slightly. Not good, it's snake venom. The 8th Heaven's favorite's expression changed drastically, and a look of panic appeared in his eyes. Die! At this moment, the Sickle Blood that was flying in the air and emitting a bloody smell flew over, and its 2 tails directly coiled around his body. No! The 8th Heaven's Chosen's expression was greatly shocked, and his face was filled with fear. Ah! A miserable cry sounded. Haha, this is the Human's Heaven's Chosen. The 10th Heaven's Chosen of our demonic beast clan can also easily kill the 8th Heaven's Chosen of your clan. Trash, humans are indeed trash. Haha, one Sickle Blood can kill 2 of them, not to mention the rest of us. A sinister and brutal voice came from the demonic beasts, and their eyes were filled with mockery. Seeing this scene, all the humans sighed, their faces extremely ugly. The 10th Chosen one of the demonic beast clan could kill the 8th ranked human. One could imagine how big the gap between them was. Haha, delicious, delicious. Come, let's move on to the next one. Sickle Blood's excited voice rang out. It raised its head and licked its snake lips, as it looked disdainfully at all the humans in front of it. This is simply not a match for us. We originally thought that this time, we humans would have the best chance of obtaining the Supreme Chosen. Who would have thought that this time, the gap would be even greater? FUCK, this is simply a disgrace. I'm not watching anymore. I'm going back. The surrounding humans looked down with gloomy expressions. There were even some who flew out in anger. Let me do it. Do you really think that we're afraid of you? At this moment, Long Xiaochen, who was ranked 7th, flew over without the slightest hesitation. He also held a staff in his hand. The staff of light was inlaid with a pearl of light. He was dressed in pure white today and looked extremely holy. He's the first prince of the Light Dragon dynasty. He should be able to defeat that arrogant beast. So what if he's defeated? 7th place defeating 10th place doesn't have any honor at all. The crowd watched Long Xiaochen enter the arena and discussed with a gloomy face. Kiki. Sickle Blood looked at the light staff in Long Xiaochen's hand, and a trace of solemnity appeared in his eyes. Light and darkness countered each other. He could feel the powerful power coming from the staff. Beast, I will definitely defeat you today. Long Xiaochen held the 2-meter-long staff in his hand. He looked incomparably holy as he directly opened his mouth to judge. Other than trash, humans talk a lot of nonsense. Sickle Blood shouted and directly rushed over. The third battle began. This battle, Long Xiaochen did not disappoint. After 3 minutes, he defeated Sickle Blood. However, he did not manage to kill Sickle Blood. Who? He took a deep breath and solemnly looked at Sickle Blood, who had escaped from the arena. His face was slightly embarrassed. His strength had always been somewhat hidden. It was in order to expose his powerful strength when he was fighting against the demonic beast clan and attract some subordinates who wanted to rely on him. However, what he didn't expect was that even the 10th ranked Heaven's favorite still made him spend a lot of effort to defeat him. Kiki, not bad, not bad. You finally defeated one of our demonic beast's Heaven's favorites. Now it's my turn. Ghost Monkey Clan, 9th on the Heaven's favorites list, Double Feng Gui, come and experience this human strength. Just as the sickle was about to fall, a dark red ghost monkey jumped into the arena. He stared at Long Xiaochen, his eyes full of brutal fighting spirit. I've consumed too much energy. Long Xiaochen looked at the ghost monkey and shook his head, his expression uncertain. His body moved, and he flew out of the arena. Kiki, cowardly human. You don't even dare to accept my battle. Haha, next, get up here. The ghost monkey's 2-meter-long body stood on the arena. Its body was covered in black scales. It had sharp claws that were 1/2 meter long. Its mouth took up 1/3 of its head. It looked extremely ferocious. We demons are invincible. You humans will become our food one day. The ghost monkey stood in the ring and arrogantly looked down at all the humans in front of him, shouting loudly. Chapter 1272. Ling Jian Yar's Domineering Aura. The double-sealed ghost of the ghost monkey clan stared at the human's direction with a face full of ridicule as he roared loudly. Disregard and contempt were displayed without a doubt. An invincible aura directly rushed towards the human's direction. The monster race was invincible. The 6th ranked on the prodigy roll didn't come. How can we fight? The 10th, 6th and 4th ranked didn't come. Now the 9th ranked monster race wants to fight with our 5th ranked prodigy. This is too embarrassing. On the surrounding arenas, when the crowd saw the 7th ranked Long Xiaochen retreat, and the 6th ranked genius didn't come, their faces all turned ashen. Especially when they heard the arrogant words of the demonic beast race. Many people wanted to rush in. Even those experts at the profound void realm had extremely ugly expressions. Haha, the coward ranked 6th on the human prodigy roll didn't come. Come, let's put him in 5th place, hee. A maniacal laughter came out of Ghost Monkey's mouth, causing Luo Shihua, who was ranked 5th, to look extremely gloomy. 5th on the human prodigy roll versus 9th on the demon beast prodigy roll. If he lost, it would be a disgrace to humanity. Then let me experience it for you. Luo Shihua moved and flew towards the arena. The battle began. As one of the top 5 prodigies of humanity, Luo Shihua was also a disciple of a large faction. Whether it was battle experience or strength, he was definitely a peak existence at the half-step profound void tier. However, Ghost Monkey's strength was not weak either. The battle between the two of them was actually hard to determine. Seeing this situation, the human's expression did not look good. If this was the case for the 9th battle against the 5th, how was the battle going to continue? Luo Shihua will only be able to defeat this ghost monkey at most. Among the demonic beasts, the 2nd-ranked one is a powerhouse at level 1 of the see-through realm. Be careful. At this moment, there were only Wang Xian, Ling Jian and Ren Xingchen on the Heaven's Pride Bridge. Wang Xian looked at the group of demonic beasts in front of him, and reminded the two of them indifferently. Don't worry, senior. I'm not afraid even if I were to face that demonic beast at the 1st level of the see-through realm. Ren Xingchen heard Wang Xian's reminder, and said respectfully immediately. Okay. Wang Xian nodded his head faintly. I can also fight against demonic beasts at the 1st level of the see-through realm. Ling Jian who was at the side, looked at Wang Xian and said plainly. That's good. Be careful. Wang Xian smiled and placed his hands together as he looked at Ling Jian with a smile. Good. As expected of the 5th-ranked Heaven's Pride expert. Haha, I double-sealed ghost admit defeat. The battle lasted for a full 10 minutes. In the end, the ghost monkey demon beast, double-sealed ghost, wiped the wounds on its body and jumped towards the back. Huff this guy. Luo Shihua looked a little embarrassed. It took him a full 10 minutes to defeat his opponent. If another one who was stronger than him appeared, it was uncertain who would win. I'll kill this guy. Just as the demon beast of the ghost monkey clan flew out, an extremely slender female demon with long mouthparts and a body suffused with red and blue light appeared. Its 2 red and blue eyes stared at Luo Shihua and extended a tongue that was 2 to 3 meters long. Bloodthirsty sea demon beast. Luo Shihua's expression kept changing. After hesitating for a moment, he moved and walked out. I'll leave it to Ling Jian'er, Ren Xingqian, and the nameless sword demon brothers and sisters. Luo Shihua's departure meant that there were only 3 people on the human side. Tang Feng, who was the 4th, did not come, so Ling Jian'er, who was the 3rd, could only make a move. Kiki, there are only 3 people left. Then I'll take care of 2. The bloodthirsty sea monster's tongue was waving outside, and its entire body was emitting a bloody aura. It stared at Ling Jian'er and said, I like human girls. Kiki, come. Humph. Chapter 1273. A bunch of trash actually sent me out. 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, come together, don't waste time. When Ling Jian'er's voice rang out in the arena, everyone was stunned. Damn, there's no need to be so domineering, directly challenging 5 demonic beast heaven's favorites this. So confident Ling Jian'er actually wants to directly challenge 5, oh my god goddess. Haha, let's not talk about anything else. Just based on Ling Jian'er's aura, she will be my goddess in the future. Killing the 8th heaven's favorite of the demonic beast clan in one move, directly challenging 5 demonic beasts. Too domineering. When all the humans around the arena saw Ling Jian'er's confident figure, all of them had looks of admiration on their faces, as they shouted and cheered loudly. Arrogant humans, you don't need us to work together. I alone will be enough. The demonic Lin demonic beast, who was ranked 5th among the demonic beasts, had a cold expression in its eyes. Its body moved, and it directly flew towards the arena. Its enormous body, which was about 5 meters in size, was accompanied by intense flames as it directly attacked. Instant golden brilliance. Ling Jian'er's expression did not change. The moment the demonic Lin demonic beast entered the arena, she started to move. A bright golden light directly attacked the demonic Lin beast. Roar, demonic flame shield. The demonic Lin beast opened its eyes wide and roared. A flame shield instantly formed around it to defend itself. Wang. However, what everyone didn't expect was that the golden light easily penetrated the demonic Lin beast's defense. Under its incredulous expression, the golden light entered its body and directly killed it. Pung. Sudden shock and astonishment. A demonic Lin demonic beast that rushed out, ranked 5th among the demonic beasts, was instantly killed. This, hiss, with the combat strength that Ling Jian'er displayed, it can completely match an expert at the first level of the profound void martial stage. Haha, too strong, simply too strong. Exhale with pride, really exhale with pride. Those beasts of the demonic beasts, why aren't you shouting anymore? Continue shouting. After 2 seconds of silence around the arena, the sound of shouting could be heard. Everyone had excited expressions on their faces. They looked at Ling Jian'er in the arena fervently, their faces filled with shock, astonishment and admiration. The feeling of being sullen just now was completely released after Ling Jian'er made a move and instantly killed 2 demonic beast heaven's favorites. They cheered loudly, and began to fight back against the demonic beast clan. Within the demonic beast clan, the expressions of the demonic beasts slowly turned solemn. Even the demonic beast heaven's favorites had slightly embarrassed expressions as their eyes flickered. Next, don't waste time. Ling Jian'er stood there with a golden longsword in her hand. Her thin and beautiful figure appeared much taller. Even many men could not help but feel admiration in their hearts. Although Ling Jian'er had a powerful background, in the past 10 years, she had not relied on her background. Instead, she had made it through on her own. Sect leader Jian'er's talent is much stronger than yours, especially her luck. I really didn't expect that our Heavenly Sword sect would also have a successor. In a corner of the arena, an old man looked at Ling Jian'er below, and sighed as he spoke to the white-haired middle-aged man by the side of the mountain. All these years it's been hard on her. She's just a girl. The white-haired middle-aged man looked at Ling Jian'er's figure lovingly and sighed silently. Don't worry, sect leader, Jian'er will forgive you. The old man revealed a faint smile. When he looked at Ling Jian'er, his eyes were filled with surprise and shock. As the strongest person in the Heavenly Sword sect other than the sect master, he could see that Ling Jian'er had obtained a shocking inheritance. Let me do it. The third-ranked demonic beast, the blood-savage demonic beast, stared coldly at Ling Jianyar. With a leap, he directly flew onto the stage. I never thought that there would be such a genius among humans. However, you are destined to lose today. It was obvious that the demonic beast race no longer had the arrogance they had earlier. They stared at Ling Jianyar with a grave expression. So. However, Ling Jianyar did not waste any time and attacked with the golden sword in her hand. The streaks of golden light caused the blood-savage beast to be extremely wary. The blood-savage beast had been in a passive position since the start of the battle. How can this human's attack be like this? That golden light can easily penetrate my attack and defense this. The battle did not exceed 10 moves, and the blood-savage beast's face was filled with fear and trepidation. Every time it attacked, Ling Jianyar's golden light could easily penetrate its defense. In fact, it didn't even doubt that if its vital points were hit, it would die instantly. Fire wings! When a golden light pierced through its defense and landed on its front hoof, the demonic Lin beast was completely flustered. It didn't hesitate at all, and directly fled to the back. Haha, I escaped, I won again. Ling Jianyar is simply too cool. Roar, Ling Jianyar goddess is awesome. Cheers rang out from the surroundings of the arena, resounding throughout the entire sky. Even Manager Qian looked at Ling Jianyar in the arena with a face full of shock. The strength that she had displayed was not inferior to those powerful heaven's favorites in the vast region. At the demonic beast seats, all the demonic beasts' faces were slightly embarrassed. What had happened in the training grounds had caused the entire demonic beast clan to be incomparably furious. They did not hesitate to raise the strength of the current generation of demonic beast heaven's favorites in order to humiliate humans. But what they didn't expect was that a third-ranked heaven's pride actually consecutively killed and defeated several of their heaven's pride. This made all the demonic beasts extremely angry. You come! At this moment, Ling Jianyar, who was standing in the arena, pointed at the second-ranked demonic beast heaven's pride, the blood-savage demonic beast, an existence at the profound void first rank. Ho, I have to say, you've completely angered me. The last level 1 of the Insight Void tier blood-savage demonic beast had an extremely cold expression in its eyes. Its 6-meter-tall body moved slightly and directly transformed into a blood shadow, entering the arena. Ling Jianyar brandished the long sword in her hand and instantly attacked. Facing a level 1 of the Insight Void tier demonic beast, she wasn't the slightest bit afraid. When all the humans around the arena saw this scene, their eyes flickered. When Ling Jianyar displayed her abilities, she could definitely match up to a powerhouse at level 1 of the see-through realm. The current me might not even be able to win against Ling Jianyar. On the Heaven's Pride Bridge, Ren Xingqian looked at Ling Jianyar, who was fighting against a powerhouse at level 1 of the see-through realm. A solemn expression appeared on his face. With her strength, she can definitely defeat a powerhouse at level 1 of the see-through realm. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled. He was also slightly shocked. Ling Jianyar had improved too quickly in the past few days. Of course, it was mainly because of the Gold of Origin. The Gold of Origin could destroy everything. Even a Dharma idol at the see-through realm could be destroyed. Chapter 1274. A bunch of trash actually allowed me to enter the arena. Ling Jianyar's strength is so strong. To actually be able to fight fiercely against a demon beast clan's profound void tier first level expert, and not at a disadvantage. My god, that profound void tier first level blood savage demon beast is actually at a disadvantage. This. Right now Ling Jianyar's strength is probably not much weaker than the nameless sword demon, right? It's too strong. Haha, if Ling Jianyar can defeat the second-ranked demonic beast Heaven's Pride, then we humans can definitely hold our heads high, haha. The battle in the arena began. Ling Jianyar and the blood-savage demonic beast were engaged in an intense battle. Facing the blood-savage demonic beast, Ling Jianyar did not have the slightest bit of weakness. Powerful attacks came one after another. Divine arts versus divine arts, sword rays versus sharp claws, In a confrontation, Ling Jianer actually had the advantage. The strength of the origin attribute was far beyond the imagination of ordinary people. Currently, Ling Jianer did not have much origin gold. Once she converted all the metal attributes in her body into origin gold, her attack power would be even more terrifying. At that time, even Ren Xingqian, who had 2 attributes, would definitely not be her match. Only with at least 3 attributes would she be able to fight against the origin gold. This level 1 see-through demonic beast has just stepped into the see-through realm not long ago. It is no match for Ling Jianer. Wang Xian looked at Ling Jianer, who was fighting in the arena, and a smile appeared on his face. It was obvious that the level 1 see-through demonic beast, who was ranked second on the Heaven's Favorites list, had just reached the see-through realm not long ago. It was much weaker than Qianyi. Ling Jianer had a very high chance of defeating it. What the hell is going on? A woman ranked third among the human prodigies can actually defeat so many of our prodigies. Damn it. Even the blood spirit doesn't seem to be his match. Damn it. I didn't expect the human race to have such a monstrous woman. Her attacks are strange. I must kill her in the future. At the demonic beast race's position, some of the demonic beast experts looked at the battle in the arena with ugly expressions. Call the demonic soul over. Let it come over and suppress the human elites. At the demonic Lin race's position, a demonic Lin that was over 10 meters in size stared at the arena with cold eyes and said to his subordinate beside him, "Yes, Elder." A demonic Lin immediately responded and flew towards the back. How? In the arena, the blood-savage demonic beast turned into many bloody shadows, and the entire arena was filled with its shadows. Strange attacks were launched at Ling Jianer from time to time. However, around Ling Jianer's body, there were swords and shields that were condensed from golden longswords. The swords and shields were extremely heavy and thick. When the bloody shadows landed on them, they could not break her defense at all. On the contrary, every single attack from Ling Jianer had to be taken seriously by the blood-barbaric demon beast. The battle continued for 4 to 5 minutes. Faced with a profound void Tier 1 expert, Ling Jianer was still suppressed. It might not be long before she seized an opportunity to defeat a profound void Tier 1 demon Lin. When all the humans in the surrounding arena saw this scene, they revealed excited expressions. Haha, Ling Jianer is really invincible. Even a level 1 profound void martial artist is no match for her. After today, Ling Jianer's reputation will definitely soar. In the future, she will definitely be a top-notch expert that can shake the entire Luhai region. At such an age, she already possesses such terrifying battle prowess. Even her former father is inferior to her. Unstintingly, praises rang out in the arena. Everyone cheered excitedly in the surroundings. The youths were even more so. Exhale. The third-ranked human genius had defeated the second-ranked demonic beast genius. To humans, this was a great honor. A group of trash, hurry up and get out. Don't disgrace US demonic beasts. At this moment, an angry howl suddenly sounded, causing the blood-savage demonic beast's body to stiffen slightly, and a flash of terror flashed across its face. It's the demon soul king is here. Once it arrives, it can easily suppress all the human geniuses. This year, the humans are a little strong. However, once the demon soul king appears, all the human geniuses will die. A furious roar sounded, causing cheers to ring out from the demonic beast side. On the genius bridge of the demonic beast clan, a 7 to 8 meter tall figure that was emitting terrifying demonic flames slowly walked over. It raised its head high, emitting an invincible aura as it arrogantly glanced at the blood-savage demonic beast and Ling Jianer, who were fighting in the middle of the arena. Its eyes were filled with dissatisfaction and disdain. Who? The blood-savage demonic beast that was at the first level of the profound void stage moved and directly dodged Ling Jianer's attack, flying out of the arena. It came to the Heaven's Pride Bridge and looked at the imposing figure as it respectfully shouted, "Demonic Soul King." Demon beasts respected the strong, even if they were not of the same race. However, Demon Soul King suppressed the same generation of demon beasts. Even many demon beasts that had lived for thousands of years were not as strong as it. As the most monstrous demon beast of the Demon Lin royal clan, its position in the demon clan was very high. In the past 1,000 years, Demon Soul was the most powerful king of heaven's pride beast of the demon beast clan. Get lost. I thought you could kill all the humans in this small battle. I didn't expect you to ask me to fight. And your opponent is actually a human girl. Roar. As it spoke, it walked arrogantly and slowly stood in front of the arena. Its cold eyes swept across all the humans in front of it. All the heaven's favorites that are still alive, all of you humans come up. A bunch of ants. Today, your Demon Soul King will eat all of you. A domineering voice resounded throughout the entire sky. A disdainful aura spread out in all directions. Kiki, not to mention the appearance of 10 human heaven's favorites. Even if all 20 of them came out, it wouldn't be enough for Demon Soul King to kill them. Originally, Demon Soul King wasn't prepared to make a move. To him, fighting against human elites was a great humiliation. I didn't expect the other elites to be so weak. Roar, roar, human elites, come and die. The demon beasts saw Demon Soul King's arrival, and all of them started to roar excitedly. In an instant, the entire sky was filled with the excited roars of demon beasts. Demon Soul King. Not good, it's that demon beast, the demon race's chosen beast king. It's this demon beast. In the training ground, it easily killed a peak level 1 insightful void martial artist from the Blood Flow Empire. This demon beast is a terrifying existence at level 2 insightful void martial artist. Level 2 insightful void martial artist? Is this the chosen beast king of the demon beast clan? With the strength of level 2 insightful void martial artist, who would be his match? Even if all the chosen ones were to join forces, they wouldn't be able to defeat him. The originally excited humans saw the king beast of the demonic beast clan walk out, and their expressions changed drastically. Especially those young men who had followed him into the training grounds. When they saw the appearance of the demonic soul, their bodies couldn't help but shiver. That time, if they hadn't run fast, perhaps more than 10,000 people would have died under its demonic flame. Chapter 1275. Ran away with his tail between his legs. What did it mean to be invincible in this generation? If one was below the age of 50, and possessed the strength of the second level of the profound void tier, they could be considered invincible in the Flowing Sea region. Not to mention the strength of the demon soul in the Flowing Sea region, even if it was placed in a wider and more vast region, it could still be ranked in the top 3 or even first. When it stood on the Prodigy Bridge, it was already destined that the Supreme Prodigy stage in the sky would belong to it. All the humans' faces were extremely unsightly, and their hearts were filled with helplessness. How could such a Prodigy King Beast resist? In the humans' position, everyone was somewhat silent. Looking at the Prodigy King Beast filled with demonic flames, their expressions changed. Such a powerful demon beast, not to mention the human prodigy, even some veteran insightful Void Realm experts might not be a match for it. If we lose, there's no need to fight at all. The gap between the first and second level of the insightful Void Realm is too big. Even Ren Xingqian has the strength of the first level of the insightful Void Realm. Under the leadership of the Nameless Sword Demon, he's still not a match for the second level of the insightful Void Realm Demon Beast. Some of the human elites frowned slightly, and shook their heads slowly. Despicable and shameless humans, I'll let all of you elites go on stage today. Do you have the guts to fight? If you don't, when you see us demon beasts in the future, you will obediently bow down to us, a bunch of ants. You bunch of despicable fellows, you only use despicable methods to enter the training grounds. Roar, roar, now let's have a fair fight and ask if you dare. You bunch of shameless bastards. Demon Soul saw that all of the humans were looking at him with fear in their eyes. Many of them were filled with fear, as they mocked him angrily. A few days ago, he had been chased by a despicable human in the training grounds. Even his precious treasure had been snatched away. He was incomparably furious. He had already sworn that in the future, he would kill every single human he saw, and let the humans suffer the cruelty of the world. A bunch of ants. It stood on the Prodigy Bridge, raised its head, and roared mockingly in front of hundreds of thousands of people. This made all the humans' faces extremely ugly. Everyone knew that the Bloodflow Empire had used the descent technique to enter the training ground. However, everyone knew that the Bloodflow Empire's experts had been easily killed by the demon soul. The Heaven's Pride King Beast's expert had already exceeded everyone's expectations. Although some people later said that human experts had once again descended to the training grounds and wantonly killed the demon beasts, this was only hearsay. Now it seemed that this matter was very likely true. Speaking of which, it was already a disgraceful matter for human experts to use a special method to descend to the training grounds. Now that it was brought out, it made everyone lose face. I really didn't expect that this beauty's strength would be so strong. However, the demonic beast's demonic soul strength is somewhat heaven-defying. The geniuses of your flowing sea region aren't her match. Even if this demonic soul was placed in our vast region, it would still be a top-notch genius. Manager Qian's eyes flickered as he looked at the demonic soul and Ling Jianyar in the arena. His eyes were filled with shock for the first time. He did not expect that there would be such an outstanding genius in this small place. Even he was far inferior to him. That might not be the case. Ling Jian, has a battle prowess at the first level of the Profound Void martial stage. I believe that Ren Xingqian isn't too bad either. In addition, he was able to insta-kill the Nameless Sword Devil at the first level of the Profound Void martial stage. Perhaps, he might be able to contend against him. Long Xiaotian was slightly displeased with Manager Qian's words. After interacting with him for the past few days, he realized that this Manager Qian was incomparably arrogant. It was as if he had come from the city and looked down on the people from the countryside. His lofty aura made him slightly displeased. Haha, what are you going to use to fight? A heavens chosen like Ling Jian has already appeared in your Luhai district once in 1,000 years. If you want to defeat the demon soul, even the top heavens chosen in our vast region don't have the confidence to win. Shopkeeper Qian shook his head lightly and said with a smile, "Yeah, this demon beast is too strong, Sai. There's actually a heaven's favorite at the second level of the Profound Void tier in the vast district. It's truly terrifying." A few young men at the side said with some ingratiation. Shopkeeper Qian smiled faintly and raised his head slightly. More than 20 years ago, an elder of our Qian family reached the second level of the Profound Void tier at the age of 50. He's so powerful. Shopkeeper Qian might also be able to reach the second level of the Profound Void tier at that age. Haha, that's right. With Shopkeeper Qian's strength, he would be one of the top 5 prodigies in our flowing sea region. The bootlicking voices continued to ring out, causing Long Xiaotian to curl his lips slightly. Let me ask you, cowards of the human race, do you dare to fight? The taunting voice of the demon soul continued to ring out, and the demonic beasts around the arena let out a provocative roar. Ling Jian held the longsword in her hand tightly. She turned her head and looked in Wang Xian's direction. When he saw Ling Jian looking over, Wang Xian looked at the extremely arrogant demon soul with a mocking expression on his face. He nodded slowly at Ling Jianyar. All right, since you want to fight, we will accompany you. When Ling Jianyar saw Wang Xian nodding his head, she immediately looked at the demon soul and said coldly, "Senior, I will go first." Ren Xingqian looked at Wang Xian and said respectfully. Following that, he looked at the demon soul with his eyes filled with excitement and fighting spirit. Fight, what do we humans have to fear? His body moved and he flew down directly. Facing a second-level void interpretation stage demon soul, he knew that he was definitely not a match for it. However, there was still his senior. In his heart, his senior was invincible. Even though he was only 26 years old, in his heart, he was still invincible. He would never forget that he was the one who saved him when he almost died twice. Being able to fight alongside his senior was the most exciting thing for him. Ren Xingqian flew to the arena and stood on the right side of Ling Jian, leaving a spot in the middle of them. Hiss, they actually chose to fight. This isn't wise. What do you mean not wise? This is the true pride of humanity. How can they dare to call themselves the pride of humanity without fighting? They are the true pride of humanity. This Ren Xingqian clearly has the battle prowess of a profound void tier 1 expert. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come down. I reckon the nameless sword demon is going to make a move too. I think it's better not to fight. Even if the three of them have the strength of a level 1 demon soul, they aren't a match for the demon soul. It's a little risky. They might have their own trump cards. Even if they can't win, as long as they can survive, it's fine. As long as they dare to fight, they will be the heroes of humanity. Support fight. Fight. When the people around the arena saw them fighting, their expressions changed. Some frowned, some looked worried, and most of them were filled with admiration. Even when facing such a powerful enemy, they still dared to fight. Even if they lost, they were still human heroes. Roar good. My demon soul. If I don't kill all of you today, I'll be a heaven's chosen beast king in vain. Chapter 1276. Was running away with its tail between its legs. Roar, alright my demonic soul. If I don't kill all of you today, I will be a king beast of heaven. With a roar, the demonic soul that was standing on the Heaven's Pride bridge leaped and landed heavily on the stage. Boom! A powerful aura was instantly released. Demonic flames covered its entire body, and the flames on its body were at least 100 meters tall. It was like a flame demon king had descended. Its enormous body made it look disdainfully at Ling Jian and Ren Xingqian, who were 2,000 meters away. Sensing the aura of the demonic soul, Ling Jian and Ren Xingqian's expressions changed slightly, and their faces were filled with a solemn expression. This, Jian is a little impulsive. A demonic beast at the second level of the profound void tier is completely not something she can deal with. Around the arena, the elder from the Heavenly Sword sect frowned slightly when he saw Ling Jian, actually accepting the challenge. A person who doesn't fight and doesn't become a sword, very good. The white-haired middle-aged man's eyes were filled with admiration, but very quickly he sighed again. My daughter doesn't need to be so outstanding. Having a father is enough. Sect Master, if Jian fights with this demonic beast, she might be in danger. The old man said worriedly. Don't worry, I've placed a sword of protection on her body. It's a second-level void interpretation, so it can't hurt her. That young man isn't bad. He has 2 elements of metal and water. He's an outstanding swordsman. The white-haired middle-aged man said as he looked at Ren Xingqian and praised him. That Ren Xingqian is indeed a monster. He has 2 elements of metal and water. Now he's half-step into the void interpretation realm, and has the ability to fight above his level. However, as he spoke, he looked at the figure on the prodigy bridge. That nameless sword demon is truly powerful. He should also have both metal and water attributes. However, he used a method to conceal his dual attributes. He should have already stepped into the first level of the void interpretation. This nameless sword demon once saved Ren Xingqian's life. He also saved Jian. Jian and Ren Xingqian are very respectful towards that nameless sword demon. However, that nameless sword demon is extremely mysterious. He completely ignores Jian and Ren Xingqian. The white-haired middle-aged man's eyes flickered as he looked at the prodigy bridge. Just the 2 of you? Get all the prodigies of the human race over here. I will kill all of you. The demon soul's body slowly rose up and hovered above the arena. His eyes were filled with killing intent and disdain as he stared at Ling Jian and Ren Xingqian. He roared. And me. I hope that you won't run away after a while. Wang Xian looked at the extremely arrogant demon soul with a mocking look in his eyes. He stood on the Heaven's Pride stage and moved towards the center of the arena. He landed in the middle of Ren Xingqian and Ling Jian with a smile in his eyes. When Ren Xingqian and Ling Jian saw Wang Xian flying over, they turned around and looked at him with a smile on their faces. Roar. Escape. Haha. Whoever escapes from the arena will be a coward and an ant. When the demon soul heard Wang Xian's voice, it replied without hesitation. It blew on its nose and flames shot out from its nostrils. However, when it finished its sentence and looked at Wang Xian, its pupils contracted slightly, and its eyes sparkled. This figure was so familiar. Impossible, this was impossible. Following that, it shook its head. All right, whoever runs away is an animal. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile and said directly. However, Wang Xian's words gave it a bad premonition. It fixed its gaze on Wang Xian. This nameless sword demon is really arrogant. He actually wants to fight to the end. He really doesn't recognize himself. Even if the three of them are at the peak of the see-through void stage, they are still no match for the demon soul. When Manager Qian heard Wang Xian's voice, he shook his head with slight disdain. The humans around the arena were also slightly stunned. This nameless sword demon was really arrogant and confident. Could they really deal with a demon beast at the second level of the see-through void stage? Is this nameless sword demon looking for humiliation? If the three of them join forces, would they be a match for a Heaven's Pride Beast King? The nameless sword demon might really have some powerful trump card. Who knows, he might really be able to defeat him. Pray. Some people felt that the nameless sword demon was a little arrogant, but some people guessed that he might have his own trump card. If the three of them work together, they might really have a chance to defeat the overwhelming prodigy king beast, that arrogant beast. Roar roar, demon soul king, kill that arrogant human guy and eat them. Courting death. How dare you say such words? Eat them, and let them know how powerful our demon beast race is. Our demon beast race is invincible. Demon Soul King is invincible. A mere human genius, just wait for your death. At the back of the demon beast race, all the demon beasts roared loudly. The entire arena was in an uproar. The demon beast race's genius King Beast was fighting against the top 3 human geniuses. Both the demonic beast clan and humans were in an uproar. Let's fight. Ren Xingqian held the golden water greatsword in his hand. His eyes were filled with fighting spirit. Beside him, Ling Jian was also holding the golden longsword in her hand tightly. She was pointing it at the demonic soul. Today would definitely be a satisfying battle. Come on. Wang Xian moved his palm, and the demon-free sword appeared in his hand. When the demon-free sword appeared in his hand, his entire body dashed towards the demon soul instantly. Senior, be careful. Be careful. Ren Xingqian and Ling Jianyar's expressions changed slightly when they saw Wang Xian dash out directly. They were not very clear about how strong Wang Xian was. However, they knew that his strength must not have reached the second level of the half-step void interpretation stage. From the previous battles, he could kill 2 experts at the first level of the void interpretation stage. However, his combat strength was still lacking compared to the second level of the void interpretation stage. It was a piece of cake for a second-level void interpretation stage expert to kill a first-level void interpretation stage expert. Even if it was 3 experts at the peak of the first level of the void interpretation stage, they would still be killed within a dozen moves if they did not have any trump cards. The 2 of them hurriedly followed closely behind Wang Xian. Roar roar, you are courting death. You actually dared to attack US Demon Soul King first and kill these 3 arrogant humans. Haha. At the back, a group of demonic beasts saw Wang Xian and the rest taking the lead to attack. Their faces revealed a brutal expression as they roared loudly. Demon Soul King was invincible. It's you. At this moment, the flames on his body exploded when he saw Wang Xian attacking him. His face was filled with fear as his eyes widened. That's right. It's me. I let you escape last time. This time, it won't be so easy. Wang Xian smiled warmly when he saw that the demon soul had recognized him. He swung the demon-free sword forward. Water Tomb and Earth Burial entwined. 2 binding attacks were launched at the demon soul king. Damn it, it's actually you. How is this possible? How is this possible? Seeing the familiar attacks, the demon soul king's face was filled with fear as he roared loudly. Chapter 1277. Ran away with its tail between its legs. A panicked voice came out from the demon soul's mouth. At this moment, everyone felt as though there was something wrong with their ears. They stared blankly at the scene in the arena. However, what shocked everyone even more was when Wuxia's attack was unleashed. The Heaven's Pride King Beast, a powerful demon beast at the second level of the see-through void tier. The Demon Soul King of the Demon Beast clan. Without the slightest hesitation, it actually turned its head and fled towards the outside. His actions left everyone dumbfounded. Regardless of whether it was the Demonic Beast clan or the Human clan, their eyes were wide open, and their faces were filled with disbelief. Bastard, I let you escape last time. Do you think you can escape this time? Wuxia's mocking voice rang out. However, when it landed in the demon soul's ears, it was like a life-threatening talisman. The incident at the trial grounds was still fresh in its mind. It had always held a grudge in its heart, and was extremely furious. This was because a powerhouse at the first level of the see-through realm, from the Bloodshed Empire, had arrived at the trial grounds. This made it believe that the person who had been chasing after it all this while was the one who had almost killed it. The person who had almost killed it, and caused it to lose its most valuable treasure, would be a powerhouse from the older generation of the human race. It even swore in its heart that it would definitely seek revenge when it became stronger. When it saw the figure of Wuxia earlier, it was slightly stunned. It was a familiar figure, but it didn't dare to confirm it. However, the moment Wuxia took out his weapon, it was already 100% certain. This human heaven's favorite was the one who chased after it for more than 20 minutes at the training ground and nearly killed it. Furthermore, after it escaped with its life, it rejoiced in its heart. If that human powerhouse had wanted to kill it forcefully from the start, it might have already been killed. Especially that terrifying attack at the end, which made its heart palpitate. However, it had never thought that that human expert was actually a human prodigy. A human prodigy? Since when did humans have such a terrifying prodigy? It was the most powerful monster of the monster race in the past 1,000 years. In the previous battle of the Prodigy Bridge, humans were completely defeated. Now that the strongest monster of the past 1,000 years had appeared, wouldn't it be easy to kill the humans? It had never thought that such a terrifying figure would appear among the humans. It's you. I didn't expect it to be you. Don't even think about killing me. Don't even think about it. The demon soul roared in fear. Looking at the attacks that covered it, it instantly unleashed all of its strength. All of its divine abilities were directed towards the water tomb and earth burial. It wanted to escape as soon as possible. Once it was entangled, it would be finished. At this moment, it was only 3,000 meters away from the stage. As for who it said was a coward, and who was an ant if they escaped, it had completely forgotten about it. It would not admit to the pretentious act just now. Right now, escaping was more important. Boom! However, at this moment, everyone in the surroundings, as well as all the demonic beasts, finally reacted. Grasping grass, grasping grass, grasping grass. What the hell is going on? That incomparably arrogant genius king beast just now, a demonic beast that looked down on the world. How could it just run away? My God, what the hell is going on? Oh my God, this king beast has obviously fought with the nameless sword demon before. And the last time, it was almost killed by the nameless sword demon. It's too shocking, too shocking. How strong is the nameless sword demon exactly? This is a demon beast at the second level of the profound void tier. Yet it actually ran away when it saw him. Look at that king beast. It's obvious that it's very afraid of the nameless sword demon. Motherfucker, who would have thought? Who would have thought that the overwhelming prodigy beast would actually run away upon seeing the nameless sword demon? Haha, this is too awesome. Around the arena, all the humans had shocked expressions on their faces as they watched this scene. All of them roared out in excitement. Just a moment ago, they had said that even if the three of them joined forces, they might not be a match for the overwhelming prodigy beast. However, right now, the The moment the nameless sword demon charged over, that invincible overwhelming prodigy beast was so frightened that it ran away. It almost ran away with its tail between its legs. This scene shook everyone's hearts. While everyone was shocked by the strength of the nameless sword demon, they were also extremely happy. This was their human's overwhelming prodigy, the invincible overwhelming prodigy. How is this possible? How is this possible? Even the top-tier overwhelming prodigies in the vast region might not be a match for this demon soul. Why? Shopkeeper Qian's face was filled with disbelief when he saw this scene. How could such a heaven-defying heaven's favorite exist in such a small flowing sea region? Haha, our flowing sea region also has powerful heaven's favorites. How delightful. This nameless sword demon is truly a dragon among men. On the side, Long Xiaotian shouted loudly when he saw shopkeeper Qian's incredulous expression. This caused manager Qian's expression to slowly become ugly. What he said just now was completely slapping his own face. Roar, roar, what's going on? What's going on? Why is the Demon Soul King so afraid of that human? What's going on? Demon Soul King, kill them. Why are they escaping? Kill them. On the demon beast side, all the demon beasts roared in disbelief. This time, they were really dumbfounded. At this moment, their Demon Soul King was like a timid mouse that had seen its natural enemy. He fled frantically in an attempt to escape from the arena. Fire territory. Wang Xian looked at the demon soul that was trying to escape. A hint of coldness appeared on his face as he waved his arm. The fire territory was instantly activated. A terrifying mountain peak of 1,000 meters in size appeared out of thin air and smashed towards the demon soul's escape route. He didn't want to kill it. Instead, he wanted to seal its path. Damn it! Damn it! The demon soul, who had witnessed Wang Xian's terrifying attack, trembled slightly when it saw the terrifying mountain on its path of escape. Aspect wings of the demon Qilin. It opened its huge mouth and unleashed its aspect without any hesitation. It charged towards the fire territory. It was really afraid. It could not be trapped here. Even if it was just for a second, it would be a second more dangerous for it. The demon soul immediately cast its Dharma idol. Its decisiveness caused Ling Jian'er and Ren Xingchen, who were following behind, to be stunned. They were following behind Wang Xian, afraid that he was no match for him alone. However, now that Wang Xian was chasing after it, the demon soul was trying its best to escape. In order to escape from the arena, he actually used his Dharma idol. It seemed like he was trying his best to escape even before the battle started. Was this really a good idea? In the surroundings, all the humans and demon beasts were stunned when they saw the demon soul using his Dharma idol to collide with the divine ability of the nameless sword demon in order to escape. What happened to the invincible heaven's favorite king beast? Where was the unrivaled and terrifying demon soul king? How could he be so cowardly now? He ran for his life the moment they met. Was this really the battle between the supreme prodigies of the Prodigy Bridge? Black question marks appeared in everyone's minds. Stupefied fruit on the stupefied tree. Chapter 1278. Heaven's Pride. Wang Shou submitted. Boom, boom. On the arena, the sound of an explosion could be heard. The demon soul used its Dharma idol, the demonic Lin wings, to attack the fire territory directly. The fire territory was originally a dual attribute divine ability. With Wang Xian's current strength, the dual attribute divine ability was still able to contend against the Dharma idol of the second level of the see-through realm. When the demon soul charged into the interior of the fire territory, a look of regret appeared on its face. The terrifying flames and the crumbling soil were like the collapse of a mountain. The entire space was like a collapsing volcano. Two types of energy charged towards the demon soul. Although the wings of the demon Lin could withstand it, its speed was completely restricted. Run. If I can't escape, I'm done for. The eyes of the demon Lin revealed an imposing manner that was unafraid of death. The flames on its body wrapped around its entire body. It directly withstood the powerful attack and ran for its life. This time, you won't be able to escape. Golden fire cleansing. The moment the demon Lin charged into the fire territory, Wuxia didn't hesitate at all. He unleashed his divine ability, golden fire cleansing once again. Golden fire cleansing, golden water fire 3 elemental divine ability. Compared to the attack from the fire territory, golden fire cleansing was much more powerful. Golden fire cleansing was a single target attack, and its single target destructive power was the strongest. When the golden light tore through the sky as if it was tearing through space, the demon soul in the fire domain revealed a hint of despair. Don't kill me, don't kill me. Before the attack could be broken, another attack came. The demon soul immediately roared in fear. The sound of begging echoed through the entire sky. At this moment, the mouths of the humans and all the demon beasts in the surroundings couldn't help but twitch. First it ran away, then it begged for mercy. Why did this proud king beast feel like a coward? However, many insightful void tier experts had solemn expressions on their faces. They could clearly see that the nameless sword demon had completely destroyed the demon soul's aspect with his divine ability. This powerful attack shocked many people. Many people knew that the nameless sword demon had 2 attributes, but even if it was 2 attributes, it would definitely be a 2 attribute divine ability if it used a divine ability to break the aspect. Moreover, it would require the nameless sword demon's strength to reach level 2 of the void interpretation realm. Level 2 of the void interpretation realm? A 26-year-old level 2 of the void interpretation realm. Moreover, this level 2 of the void interpretation realm was very likely to have the strength to contend against a level 3 of the void interpretation realm. He could contend against a level 3 of the void interpretation realm at the age of 26? What kind of strength was this? Many kings of weak dynasties were only at level 3 of the void interpretation realm. However, a 26-year-old youth had already reached it. If this nameless sword demon wants to establish a dynasty, or even a sect after today's battle, it won't be more than 5 years. He'll definitely be a powerful force in the flowing sea region. Some insightful emptiness realm experts thought to themselves. With the strength that nameless sword demon displayed, it could be said to be heaven-defying. If he wanted to establish a force, there would definitely be countless people following him. There would even be insightful emptiness realm experts coming over to seek refuge. At this moment, the demon soul's miserable cry sounded. Everyone looked over and saw a 4-meter-long wound on the demon soul's abdomen. The wound was half a meter deep, and one could already see the demon soul's internal organs. This genius king beast, the young king of the demon beast clan, if he doesn't escape he will die here. The nameless sword demon's strength is too strong. It's really hard to imagine. Looking at the heavily injured demon soul's body, everyone was shocked. The demon race was even more silent at this moment. The clamoring voices had completely disappeared. The gap was too huge. Now, even if it was an extraordinary level 3 or 4 demonic beast, they could see how big the gap was between their demon soul king and that human. They didn't have the ability to resist at all. The demon soul king was trying his best to escape. It was actually the best choice. Brilliant Sun Spirit Poison. At this moment, Wuxia attacked the demon soul directly at a terrifying speed. At the same time, he unleashed 2 more divine abilities. Wuxia's entire body carried a terrifying attack power as he charged toward the demon soul. Seeing Wuxia charging toward him, the demon-free sword was exuding a sense of deadly danger. It widened its eyes. It was unable to defend against 2 or 3 types of divine abilities consecutively. Now there were 2 more. With Wuxia's current attack power, he could definitely kill it. The demon soul also knew that it would definitely not be able to withstand his attack. What awaited it next would be death. It was unwilling to accept this. It never expected that the once-in-a-thousand-years peerless demon beast, the Heaven's Pride King beast, would die after only 40 years. It was really unwilling to accept this. At this moment, the demon soul did something that no one expected. Roar! I surrender, don't kill me. It let out a pleading roar and knelt down in the air. Back in the training ground, this human didn't go all out to kill him, because he wanted to take him as his mount. Now there was only one way to survive: become his mount and surrender. Huh? Wang Xian looked at the demon soul, who was in an extremely miserable state and was kneeling in the air. The attack in his hand stopped. He raised his eyebrows and a smile appeared on his face. It would have been better if I had submitted to him back in the training ground. I wouldn't have to suffer so much pain. When the demon soul heard Wang Xian's words, it almost cried. Fuck, he even insulted a beast at this time. If it surrendered now, it would definitely be the first demon beast to surrender in history. Take this. Wang Xian moved his arm and threw a drop of divine dragon's blood essence at it. The demon soul felt the terrifying energy and was contained in the blood, and its face kept changing. However, looking at the sharp demon-free sword, it raised its head obediently and swallowed it into its stomach. King. In less than 10 seconds, the demon soul lowered his arrogant head and called out respectfully to Wang Xian. Very good. Wang Xian revealed a satisfied expression. Demon soul, you traitor, you cowardly thing. Demon soul, you are a heaven's favorite king beast in vain. You are a good-for-nothing, you traitor. However, at this moment, the entire demon beast race was completely dumbfounded. Fuck, demon soul wanted to submit to that human. Their heaven's pride king beast submitted to the human. This fuck was simply a great humiliation to the demon beast race. More than 10 insightful void-level demon beasts of the demon Lin race roared towards the arena with furious faces. What a shame! What a shame! The demon soul turned around and looked at the demon beast tribe behind him. He roared and ignored them. Haha! Wang Xian laughed out loud. With a move of his arm, he threw the water healing ability towards the demon soul. Following that, he continued to cast the water spirit. 2 powerful healing energies landed on the demon soul's body, causing his serious injuries to heal slowly. Chapter 1279. Overwhelming Prodigy Supremacies. Oh my god, he submitted. That overwhelming prodigy king beast actually submitted. This year's overwhelming prodigy bridge supremacies battle actually caused such a scene. An incomparably powerful demonic beast overwhelming prodigy actually submitted under the overwhelming strength of the nameless sword demon. Just how powerful is the nameless sword demon? From the beginning until the end, the nameless sword demon did not even use his Dharma idol. Do you guys think that the nameless sword demon has the strength of a 3rd-level profound void martial artist? Otherwise, why would the overwhelming prodigy king beast be so afraid of him? Haha, this is really exciting. After more than 100 years, another supreme being of the heaven's pride has appeared in our human race. Furthermore, he has subdued the king beast of the demon beast race. This is really giving us humans a boost in our morale. The demon beast race that was extremely arrogant just a moment ago. Look at the expression on their faces now. The nameless sword demon is invincible. The nameless sword demon is invincible. The nameless sword demon is awesome. When everyone saw the demonic beast king beast prostrating next to Wang Xian and submitting to him, a deafening cheer broke out around the arena. Everyone looked at this scene with shock and excitement. Subduing the demonic beast king beast and suppressing all the other geniuses of the demonic beast clan. He was truly the leader of the human heavens pride experts, the supreme heavens pride expert. Traitor! This traitor has disgraced the face of our demonic beast clan. Damn it! Within the demonic beast clan, the powerful demonic beast stared at the demonic soul, and Wang Xian with eyes filled with killing intent as they roared furiously. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surroundings. Regardless of whether it was the praises of the humans or the roars of the demonic beast clan, he didn't take them to heart. He raised his head and looked at the supreme platform of the heavens pride experts. A smile appeared on his face. Wang Xian's figure moved and flew directly into the sky. Supreme heavens pride expert. A true supreme heavens pride expert. He can suppress all the young people in the current generation of the Luhai region, and suppress all the Heaven's Pride experts of the demonic beasts. As they watched Wang Xian fly towards the supreme platform of the Heaven's Pride experts, all the young people raised their heads in admiration, respect and admiration. Buzz! The moment Wang Xian stepped onto the Supreme Genius stage, the golden glow on the stage intensified and waves of powerful energy appeared around him. A shadow was projected directly into the sky. The shadow was Wang Xian's figure. He held the demon-free sword in his hand and wore a mysterious black mask on his face. Everyone looked at the 100-meter-sized shadow with respect. The Supreme Prodigy, the Supreme Prodigy. Ling Jian raised her head and looked at the figure. Her eyes sparkled. She thought of the figure she saw for the first time. The first time he saved her life. The second time, when the Hanhai Empire attacked her, the figure appeared. A faint smile appeared on her face. A special emotion was born in her heart. However, when she thought of Wang Xian's cold attitude, she frowned slowly. Her face was filled with unhappiness. That is, it's the powerful energy fluctuation that was released from the room of my Heaven's Pride stage. At this moment, the eyes of the person standing on the Supreme Genius stage looked towards the human Heaven's Pride stage. When he saw the light rising over there, a smile appeared on his face. His body moved and flew directly towards the Heaven's Pride stage. When the demon soul saw Wang Xian flying over, he immediately followed behind. Ling Jian and Ren Xingchen hesitated for a moment before flying over as well. It was not only Wang Xian's arena that was lit up. The top 10 on the Human's Heaven's Pride roll were also lit up. Since Wang Xian had obtained the title of the Supreme Heaven's Pride expert, the entire human side would also receive rewards. When Wang Xian arrived at the Heaven's Pride stage and allowed the demon soul to enter, he directly entered the cultivation room. Buzz! In an instant, he could feel a majestic energy pouring into his body. The majestic spiritual energy turned into fog and was almost able to condense into spiritual liquid. Wang Xian revealed an excited expression. What a majestic spiritual energy! It can be converted into dragon energy rapidly. He opened his mouth excitedly and swallowed the dense spiritual fog directly into his stomach. The dragon chi in his body was increasing at a terrifying speed. Wang Xian sat in the training room. It took him 2 whole days to completely absorb the spiritual fog. On the other hand, his dragon chi directly increased by more than 200 million dragon crystals. Such a vast amount of energy. If one's comprehension ability can keep up, it can definitely allow a powerhouse at the first level of the see-through realm to break through to the second level of the see-through realm. Wang Xian heaved a sigh of relief. He still needed more than 500 million dragon crystals to level up. He would return when he broke through to the see-through realm. At the thought of this, Wang Xian stood up and walked out of the cultivation room. Dragon King. Upon seeing Wang Xian coming out, the demon soul that was lying outside greeted Wang Xian respectfully. Currently, the demon soul was completely under Wang Xian's control. This control was not the control of the beast taming technique. Instead, it was the control of a draconid. In the future, when the demon soul entered the dragon pool, it could become a member of the dragon palace. The demon soul's physique was extremely domineering. As a mount, it was extremely handsome. Furthermore, its own strength was not weak. It was definitely a qualified mount. Next, I have to think of a way to earn more than 500 million dragon crystals. With another 500 million dragon crystals, everything will be perfect. Wang Xian thought to himself as he landed directly on the demon soul. Let's go. He raised his head slightly and flew towards the demon soul with a smile on his face. Master Nameless Sword Demon. Master Nameless Sword Demon. Just as Wang Xian flew out of the Heaven's Pride stage, a group of middle-aged young men and old men suddenly appeared around him. They were holding the invitation cards in their hands. Lord Nameless Sword Demon, in the name of the Bloodshed Empire's Emperor, I am here to offer a recruitment letter to Lord Nameless Sword Demon. His Majesty has asked me to inform you that if you join the Bloodshed Empire, You will be directly conferred the title of the opposite-sex king of the empire. You will be rewarded with 2 cities. An old man walked over respectfully and handed over an invitation card. Lord Nameless Sword Demon, I am a teacher of the Divine Wind Academy. Our Divine Wind Academy wishes to invite Lord Nameless Sword Demon to take up the position of Honorary Vice Dean of the Academy. Please consider it. Lord Nameless Sword Demon. One by one, people walked up respectfully and handed over the invitations one by one, coming forward to express their goodwill. After the battle at the Prodigy Bridge, after Nameless Sword Demon obtained the title of Supreme Prodigy with overwhelming force, his reputation spread throughout the surrounding dozens of dynasties within a short 2 days. The Emperor of the powerful Blood Flow Empire also sent people to recruit him. The title of Supreme Genius, Nameless, represented not only great strength and potential, but also great appeal. The name of the Nameless Sword Demon now represented great power. If he established a mercenary group, a sect, or even a dynasty, countless people would follow him. Especially the Nameless Sword Demon, who had subdued a Heaven's Pride King Beast. His future potential was limitless. All the factions were fighting to rope him in. Give me the recruitment letter. I will consider it. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and took the letter one by one. Then he dashed into the distance. Sigh! What a mysterious Heaven's Pride! Seeing Wang Xian take the recruitment letter and leave, the people from all the factions showed admiration in their eyes. Chapter 1280 was confessed to. Ta. Look, that's the Nameless Sword Demon, the Supreme Prodigy. Wow, it's so domineering. Riding on the King Beast, that's a terrifying demon beast that can grow to the 6th level of the Profound Void tier. The Nameless Sword Demon is so domineering. Boss Nameless Sword Demon, do you lack underlings? I'm willing to be your underling. Handsome Nameless Sword Demon, do you need a wife? If you really can't do it, a maid can do it too. It's to warm the bed. When Wang Xian rode his demon soul and flew towards his residence, everyone saw him stopping in a hurry. Their faces were filled with respect. Some of the young men and women even shouted at him directly. When Wang Xian heard the voices around him, he raised his eyebrows slightly. Looks like I should hide my demon soul in the future. Otherwise, there will be a lot of trouble. Wang Xian thought to himself. When he arrived at the edge, his body moved, and he landed on the ground. Demon soul, can you change your body size and make it smaller? Wang Xian jumped down from the demon soul and said to it. It's the king. The demon soul nodded. There were 2 forms of the demon scale demon beast. One of them had 4 limbs facing the ground, while the other was in the form of a human. The scales on the demon soul's body squirmed slowly, and its entire body shrunk rapidly. It turned into a size of 1.78 meters. It seemed that there was a huge gap between it and the demon scale clan. King, this is already my limit. Turning into this state will affect my combat strength. The demon soul said to Wang Xian. It's alright, let's go. Wang Xian shook his head. The mask on his face disappeared, and he brought the demon soul to his residence. The Nameless Sword Demon disappeared. He was completely hidden, and Wang Xian couldn't help but reveal a smile. I really hid my achievements and fame. He thought to himself and opened the door. The 2 ferocious beasts inside immediately roared at him. Wang Xian smiled and threw some food to them. He returned to his room in a good mood and began to rest. After sleeping for more than 10 hours, Wang Xian walked into the courtyard with a satisfied expression. He poured himself a cup of tea and thought about his next move. Now, he could be said to have cleared the Heaven's Pride stage and the training grounds of the Bloodstream sect in the demi-human graveyard. He had also obtained a large amount of spiritual liquid. If he wanted to obtain more spiritual liquid, he could only do so in the blood refinement grounds and the main hall. Compared to these 2 places, they were much more bloody. Many insightful emptiness realm experts were active there. This was especially so in the main hall. Those who had not reached the insightful emptiness realm would be courting death if they stepped into it. Just as he was deep in thought, a cry was suddenly heard. Wang Xian was slightly stunned and raised his head to look. As expected, it was still the young lady in the white dress who was staring at him. Wang Xian was a little stunned. He extended his hand and gestured to her. "Come over and have a seat. What's the matter?" Ling Jian'er looked at him. She hesitated for a moment before flying over to Wang Xian. Xiao Ha, who was on his shoulder, jumped in front of Wang Xian. She extended her tongue excitedly and licked his arm. Ling Jian'er walked over and looked at the demon soul beside her. She wasn't too surprised. She already knew Wang Xian's identity. "Pretty lady, why are you looking for me?" Wang Xian was speechless when he saw her looking at him. "My father is looking for me. He wants me to go back with him," Ling Jian'er suddenly said. Wang Xian raised his head and looked at her. He felt that her words were somewhat inexplicable. What does this have to do with me? What do you want to say?" Wang Xian pointed at the seat beside him again and gestured at her. "I don't want to go back. I've already abandoned it. I don't need it anymore." She still didn't sit down and said faintly, "Do you have to think about this yourself? It's up to you." Wang Xian shook his head. He couldn't understand the thoughts of this beauty. He shook his head and took a sip of tea. "I want to follow you." Ling Jian'er looked at Wang Xian with a twinkle in her eyes. As she spoke, she slowly lowered her head. When Wang Xian heard her words, he revealed an extremely shocked expression. He couldn't help but stand up. "Damn, Ling Jian'er, you are. I'm telling you, I can have a wife." Wang Xian widened his eyes and sized her up. What was this cold woman doing? Confessing. Fuck, she was actually confessed to. Ling Jian'er was slightly stunned when she heard Wang Xian's words. Her expression changed drastically. "It's all right. Your wife is definitely not my match. I won't hurt her either." When Wang Xian heard her words, the corner of his mouth couldn't help but twitch violently. However, what Wang Xian and Ling Jian'er didn't know was that at a height of more than 10,000 meters, a white-haired middle-aged man and an old man were looking down. When they saw Ling Jian'er's performance, the corner of their lips couldn't help but twitch. This was especially so for the white-haired middle-aged man. His ice-cold face started to change. His daughter actually said such words. Sigh. But soon after he sighed. His former daughter was also extremely cheerful and lively. Now she was extremely cold. She didn't even acknowledge him as her father. Her entire personality had changed, and she was completely frozen. Everything was because of him. Especially that sentence, "Your wife isn't my match." As a father, he knew what that sentence meant. This made his eyes slightly moist. Sect leader, the demonic Lin beast beside this young man is a demon soul. Looks like he is the nameless sword demon. Jian'er might have a good impression of that young man. The old man at the side looked at Wang Xian with a twinkle in his eyes and said, this young man is not bad. I have no objection to their matter." As the white-haired middle-aged man spoke, a bitter look appeared on his face. "Ling Jian, you are thinking too much. Not only do I have one wife, but I also have 6. Moreover, your strength is not the strongest among them." Wang Xian felt that Ling Jian'er had a problem in her heart. She confessed to him without any reason, and even said something without any reason. Wang Xian, a normal person, found it hard to accept it. Moreover, Ling Jian'er was not outstanding in any way. In terms of beauty, she wasn't as pretty as Ling Jian'er. In terms of figure, she wasn't as cold as a Jiaya. Wang Xian really didn't have any thoughts about her. Six. She frowned slightly and looked deep in thought. Are they on good terms? Yes, of course they're very good, Wang Xian said directly. That works too. I can blend in with them. Ling Jian'er thought for a moment and said again. Wang Xian was stunned. He stared at Ling Jian'er in disbelief. In the sky, the white-robed middle-aged man's body trembled. His face revealed endless bitterness as he shook his head slowly. All of this was his own fault. He was the daughter of the sect leader of the Heavenly Sword sect, yet he had to share a husband with someone else. This was something that was impossible in the past. Chapter 1281, I'll help you take the throne. Everyone lived in a different environment, and her thoughts were also different. Ling Jian had a very beautiful childhood, and even when she was 20 years old, she had a perfect background. But her mother was assassinated by her Nyang and her younger brother, and she killed them. Her father chased her out, and for more than 10 years, she lived alone in the ladyboy graveyard. Under such circumstances, it was indeed able to change a person's heart. Some people who were not strong-willed would even have their hearts distorted. During this period of time, Ling Jian did not trust anyone. She kept to herself and looked at the entire world coldly. It was only until Wang Xian appeared and helped her twice. Although the communication between them was very simple, to Ling Jian, this was the only person who had barged into her world in the past 10 years. She, who didn't understand the ways of the world and didn't understand love, would say such words. Ling Jian didn't even know if she liked Wang Xian. She just wanted to be by his side. Especially in the past few days, when the Heavenly Sword sect came to look for her and begged her to go back, her father came to acknowledge her and wanted to bring her back. This made her very conflicted. That was why she wanted to be by Wang Xian's side even more. I think there's a fool. There's a person whose temper is very similar to yours. He might be very suitable for you, Ren Xingchen. Wang Xian looked at Ling Jian speechlessly and said directly, "You want me to find a fool a fool? I don't want to be with a fool." Ling Jian frowned slightly when she heard Wang Xian's words and spoke frankly as well. When Wang Xian heard her words, he was utterly defeated. Ling Jian and Ren Xingchen were very similar. They would not turn back if they did not hit the wall. They might not turn back even if they hit the wall. Both of them had problems in their hearts. Obviously, it was impossible for the two of them to see eye to eye. Your father is able to walk out from the knot in his heart. I think you should be able to walk out. After all, he is your father. I think you can go back with him. Wang Xian stopped talking about what happened earlier and changed the topic immediately. I don't have a knot in my heart, and I'm not in the wrong. Ling Jian looked at him and said with determination in her eyes. Wang Xian opened his mouth and sat down weakly. You are not in the wrong. Everything is your father's fault. Then, you should let your father make it up to you, right? He is your father after all. The reason why you were able to live safely in the tomb of the demi-human for the past 10 years was all because of your father. You weren't killed by the Hanhai dynasty at the prodigy stage. It was all because of your father. That's why I said that he was at fault. However, you have to give him a chance to make up for it. After all, he is your father. He must have been very angry in that situation. After all, you killed his son. Wang Xian took a sip of tea and looked at her. Ling Jian was deep in thought. After a few seconds of silence, she said, "But that doesn't stop me from following you." Forget it. I don't like cold people like you. If you want to follow me, that's fine too. You can be a servant girl, serving tea, pouring water, washing clothes, cooking and washing feet. As Wang Xian spoke, he crossed his legs and looked at her mockingly. Ren Xingchen asked me where you are, but I didn't tell him. I feel that he can serve you tea, pouring water, washing clothes, cooking and washing feet. Humph. As Ling Jian spoke, she snorted coldly. She carried Xiaoha and turned around to leave. FUCKU. When Wang Xian saw her leaving, he stood up with a stunned expression. He then shook his head speechlessly. You should go back to your father's place. Oh right, don't let Ren Xingchen bother me. If he comes looking for you again, let him join your Heavenly Sword sect. Wang Xian said directly. Ling Jian body paused for a moment. She didn't reply and her figure disappeared. It's difficult to communicate with people who are eccentric. Wang Xian smiled and shook his head. However, what he didn't know was that in the sky 10,000 meters away, the white-haired middle-aged man had an excited expression on his face. The old man beside him also had a happy expression. Sect leader, I feel that the knot in Jian Yar's heart should be solved very soon. An excited expression appeared on the old man's face. With his strength reaching their level, coupled with the fact that he had lived for more than 1,000 years, he was able to sense every fluctuation of Ling Jian Yar's emotions. Just now, he was able to see Ling Jianyar's hesitation and hesitation. This was a very good sign. Moreover, that nameless sword demon actually allowed Ren Xingqian to join their heavenly sword sect. This was Ren Xingqian ranked third on the prodigy roll. Most importantly, they could tell that Ren Xingqian's strength would definitely be extraordinary in the future. If Ling Jiana returned with Ren Xingqian, their heavenly sword sect would at most be able to contend against the Blood Flow Empire in 100 years. I'll go look for Jianar. The white-robed middle-aged man did not hesitate and flew towards Ling Jianyar's courtyard. Buzz buzz. Just as Wang Xian shook his head speechlessly, the communication stone plate beside him vibrated. Ha! Wang Xian looked over. He didn't have any friends here. The only person who sent him a message was Long Xiaotian. Looking at the contents of the message, he frowned slightly. Brother Wang Xian, you should be more careful recently. I received news that a few of my brothers seem to want to deal with you. I have found a mole among my subordinates. They have already found out about you helping me tame the nether deer. They will definitely make a move against you recently. Do you want to come to my place and stay in the Guanglong Island? No one will dare to harm you. Long Xiaotian sent 3 sentences with a worried look. It seems like I have completely fallen into the battle for the throne of the Guanglong dynasty. Wang Xian's eyes flickered, and a hint of contemplation appeared on his face. However, since I am involved, I shall be involved. I shall help Long Xiaotian to take the throne. In the future. He was deep in thought. In the near future, the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty would definitely come here. It would be much better if he had an ally. Moreover, at the Heaven Sword sect. It's all right. We will go to the blood refinement ground tomorrow. I will help you tame some ferocious beasts. I will help you to take the throne. Wang Xian replied to Long Xiaotian. It was a very domineering reply. In a training ground on the Guanglong Dynasty Island, Long Xiaotian stood next to a corpse with a gloomy face. Around him, there were more than 300 people standing there. When he saw the message sent by Wang Xian, his eyes widened, followed by a look of pleasant surprise on his face. Haha, good brother. Haha, haha, what a good brother. He couldn't help but laugh wildly. This caused the subordinates around him to look at the second prince in astonishment. Since when did the second prince lose his composure? However, what they didn't know was how excited Long Xiaotian was when he saw Wang Xian's promise. This meant that the throne was within his grasp. As long as Wang Xian helped him tame hundreds of powerful ferocious beasts, what was there to be afraid of even if all his brothers joined forces? Chapter 1282, Night Assassination. Big brother, the spy we placed with second brother has been discovered. On the same island of the Light Dragon dynasty, in a courtyard close to the sea, 4 princes were sitting at a round table. One of them looked at Long Xiaotian and said with a gloomy face, "We have received the news, so be it if he has been discovered. I really didn't expect that young man named Wang Xian to have such a powerful ability, the art of beast taming." Long Xiaotian's eyes flickered, and he looked extremely embarrassed. He looked at the other 3 and said, "In the future, if we have the help of that kid, how can we fight against the second brother?" Then, "Big brother, what are you saying?" The eyes of the other 3 princes flickered, and there was a faint killing intent on their faces. "You and I both know very well that we must not let that kid live," Long Xiaotian said coldly. "That kid has 2 level 1 void interpretation beasts by his side. It'll be difficult for us to kill him with our strength unless..." A prince knocked on the table and said, "Find an assassin. It's not cheap to assassinate a beast tamer who has 2 level 1 void interpretation beasts. If we hire a magic level, the 4 of us will split the commission equally. There's no problem, right?" Long Xiaotian nodded and said in a deep voice, "Of course there shouldn't be a problem. Not only do we have to get rid of him, we also have to ensure that nothing goes wrong. If we don't get rid of that kid, we won't be qualified to compete with our second brother in the future." The other 3 princes didn't hesitate and nodded immediately. "All right. In case anything goes wrong, we will act immediately." The four princes stood up slowly, their eyes flashing with a cold glint. The young beast tamer who helped Long Xiaotian must not be allowed to stay. Time passed slowly. Wang Xian sat in the courtyard and looked through the information regarding the blood refinement ground. The blood refinement ground was not really considered as the territory of the ancient bloodstream sect. The blood refinement ground was located in a place further away. It was a paradise for ferocious beasts. There were all kinds of ferocious beasts. The highest level among them was even at level 6 of the see-through realm. The blood refinement ground was extremely vast. People from the cemetery of demi-humans preferred to call it the wilderness territory. It was where all the disciples of the ancient bloodstream sect, and even the powerhouses, were trained. In the wildlands, the bloodstream sect had built a safe passage. At the entrance of the passage stood a huge stone tablet with the words Land of Blood Refinement written on it. Therefore, the wildlands was called the Land of Blood Refinement. Get ready to make your move. The two of you restrained the two ferocious beasts in his courtyard. Leave the target to me. Alright, no problem. To assassinate a mere beast tamer, he actually sent out an epic-level assassin of the devil realm. What a waste. Since our employer is rich, we will naturally be happy. Don't be careless. Since that kid is able to tame two ferocious beasts of the first level of the see-through realm, his strength is definitely not simple. Let's go in. It was already nighttime. In front of Wang Xian's courtyard, 3 black figures were conversing in the dark. They looked forward and exchanged a glance before disappearing. Buzz. At this moment, Wang Xian did not rest. He sat in the courtyard and read the information under the moonlight. Suddenly he was slightly stunned. Sensing the energy from the surroundings, he slowly lifted the teacup in his hand. Wang, there are 3 powerhouses at the first level of the see-through realm. At this moment, the voice of the demon soul entered his mind. Wang Xian nodded silently and looked at the spirit purple Qilin and the blood evil turtle in front of him. The 2 beasts at the first level of the see-through realm did not sense that someone had entered the courtyard. Assassin. A word appeared in Wang Xian's mind. He was very clear about assassins. To be able to hide from the senses of the 2 ferocious beasts, only assassins who were good at hiding could do it. The few princes from the Light Dragon dynasty sent them over? No, it should be the assassins they hired. Wang Xian drank a mouthful of tea indifferently and sensed the strength of the 3 figures. With the strength of these 3 figures, they wouldn't be here to deal with the identity of the nameless sword demon. They could only be here to deal with him. Other than the few princes of the Light Dragon dynasty, there wouldn't be anyone else. In addition to Long Xiaoyan's reminder to him this afternoon, he was already 100% certain. Sensing that the 3 assassins were getting closer and closer to him, Wang Xian revealed a faint smile. Everyone, are you courting death? He slowly placed the blanket in his hand on the table and raised his head to sweep at the 3 assassins. What? The 3 assassins who were hiding in the surroundings were slightly stunned when they saw Wang Xian's gaze sweeping over them. Their faces revealed a look of shock. However, at this moment, Wang Xian did not give them any chance. His figure moved and attacked the 3 assassins at a terrifying speed. Not good. This is bad. The strength of the target does not match the information. When the 3 assassins saw Wang Xian making his move, they were shocked. Bang! 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 3 assassins at the first level of the see-through realm are trying to assassinate me. Wang Xian's voice was heard. However, it was accompanied by a terrifying attack. The 3 assassins at the first level of the see-through realm were very strong. However, they were not strong enough in front of Wang Xian. It was normal for him to kill them in an instant with his strength. Cough cough, how is this possible? The 3 figures appeared. They widened their eyes and stared at Wang Xian in disbelief. The target of their assassination was a young man. How strong could a young man be? Not every young man was as strong and terrifying as the nameless sword demon. They could feel the sound in their bodies disappearing rapidly. They could not believe it as they stared at the young man in front of them with widened eyes. Wang Xian waved his arm, and kept the 3 corpses into his interspatial ring. He continued to lie on the chair and picked up the teacup. It was a breeze. Maybe they still don't know who they are trying to assassinate. Wang Xian shook his head slowly and revealed a faint smile. This assassin organization was not weak. They sent out 3 assassins of the first level of the see-through realm at once. It was a pity that he was Wang Xian. At the same time, he was the nameless sword demon in their minds. After helping Long Xiaotian tame the ferocious beasts this time, I will help him get rid of all the subordinates of his brothers. It will save me a lot of trouble in the future. I need the resources to level up next. If I don't have enough, I can ask Long Xiaotian to help me think of a solution, Wang Xian thought to himself. He and Long Xiaotian had been helping each other all this while. It would be very beneficial to him if he helped Long Xiaotian to obtain the throne. He sat until dawn. With his strength, he didn't feel the slightest bit tired. Demon soul, you stay here. Let's go. Wang Xian looked at the time and leaped onto Ling Zilin's body. The blood evil turtle followed behind him and walked out. When he arrived at the place he had agreed to with Long Xiaotian, he had already led more than 300 subordinates to wait there. Among them, more than 50 of them were riding on black shadow leopards, while another 50 to 60 of them were riding on dark deer. Awe-inspiring. Chapter 1283, Blood Refinement Ground. Wang Xian looked at the spot beside Long Xiaotian and looked at an old man on the right. The old man seemed to be quite old, but Wang Xian could sense that he was at the first level of the see-through realm. Brother Wang Xian. Seeing Wang Xian flying over, Long Xiaotian greeted him with a smile on his face and shouted loudly, "Young Master Wang." Behind him, Long Xiaotian's subordinates greeted him respectfully, especially those who were riding on their mounts. They had witnessed Wang Xian's strength and were impressed by his formidable strength and monstrous beast taming skills. "Let's go." Wang Xian nodded at Long Xiaotian and the rest. Riding on the spirit purple Qilin, he followed beside him. His arrival caused by Qingshan and the elder to take a step back consciously. At the front, only he and Long Xiaotian were there. Now everyone knew Wang Xian's position in front of Long Xiaotian. Especially yesterday, they saw their second prince's excited expression. They had something important to do today, so they asked the second prince to push it aside and lead everyone to the blood refinement ground. Brother Long Xiaotian, I didn't expect a powerhouse at the first level of the see-through realm to join you. It seems like your strength has completely pulled away from your brothers. Wang Xian said to him with a smile. Haha, then I have to thank Brother Wang Xian. After you helped to tame the nether deer last time, Elder Zhu led his mercenary group to join you. Long Xiaotian said happily as he moved closer to Wang Xian. He looked at the spirit purple Qilin and the blood fiend turtle with some envy. Hee, Brother Wang Xian. See if you can help me tame a level 1 void interpretation beast. If that's the case, it'll be too cool. He said to Wang Xian shamelessly. If I can meet it, it's totally possible. Wang Xian nodded with a smile. Really? Long Xiaotian's eyes lit up. He nodded. After we return this time, I'll help you get rid of all your brother's subordinates. Brother Wang Xian, what are you doing? Long Xiaotian was slightly surprised when he heard Wang Xian's words. He asked in surprise. Someone tried to assassinate me last night. Therefore, it's better to let your brothers despair quickly. Wang Xian smiled and said calmly. What? They actually hired assassins? Long Xiaotian's expression changed as a hint of coldness flashed across his eyes. All right then. If Brother Wang Xian helps with my strength, I can destroy their forces, even if it's the 4 of them working together. All right. Wang Xian nodded his head. With Long Xiaotian's current 2 insightful emptiness realm experts following him, and his 2 ferocious beasts, he could annihilate all of his brother's subordinates, even if he didn't make a move. The group of them flew towards the blood refinement ground. Long Xiaotian was deep in thought along the way. It was obvious that he was thinking about what to do next. Wang Xian, Long Xiaotian, and the rest flew towards the blood refinement ground in a mighty manner. Some of the people around them avoided them when they saw them. The current Long Xiaotian was well known in the human-demon graveyard. The blood refinement ground was even further away than the main hall. It was located at the edge of the human-demon graveyard. There were many huge buildings there. Each building contained a powerful energy fluctuation. There were some changes in the position of the ocean to the left. In the ocean to the left, there were islands of different sizes. That place also belonged to the land of blood refinement. We'll go from the bottom. The group came to the bottom of the huge buildings. The buildings were like towers. There was nothing in the towers. Instead, there was a staircase leading down. This place was a huge tunnel left behind by the bloodstream sect in the past. The tunnel led to the interior of the blood refinement ground about 50 kilometers away. There were many such tunnels, and the number of people here was more than 10 times that of other places. There were hundreds of thousands of people entering and leaving the tunnel. As soon as they entered the tunnel, they could see at least a few thousand people. There were mercenary groups and some powerful factions. The blood refinement ground was a desolate territory. There were countless fierce beasts living here, and there were also all kinds of spiritual herbs growing in it. In the land of blood refinement, there was an area of blood essence craggy demon beasts. The blood essence craggy demon was a kind of tree, an extremely terrifying tree. Especially the blood essence craggy demon king. It was a tree demon that covered an area of 10 kilometers and had countless vines. This tree demon had the strength of the 8th level of the profound void tier, and it was extremely terrifying. In the entire flowing sea area, it was absolutely an invincible existence. However, this tree demon could not move. The blood essence craggy demons could absorb the corpses of living beings and condense their blood essence. Many people came to the training grounds to kill ferocious beasts. Some weaker blood essence craggy demons would absorb them and turn them into blood essence before taking them away. The bloodstream sect's formation for condensing blood essence came from the blood essence craggy demons. By killing ferocious beasts, demonic beasts, and even humans, one could turn them into blood essence that could be absorbed by others in the training grounds. Brother Wang Xian, we are not familiar with the blood refinement ground. If we want to tame the ferocious beasts, we need to slowly search for them ourselves. Moreover, the blood refinement ground is filled with dangers. Demonic beasts, powerful ferocious beasts. Even a group of us have to be careful. Walking in the deep tunnel, Long Xiaotian said to Wang Xian. Leave it to me. Wang Xian said to Long Xiaotian. He had the dragon eyes of light and dark fire. In the wild, it was an extremely heaven-defying investigative method. Brother Wang Xian, my subordinates are not weak either. Long Xiaotian smiled and shouted, let's go, let's increase our speed. The group of them increased their speed and sped forward. Soon, exit after exit appeared above them. They did not leave immediately, but continued to go deeper. They arrived at the end of the tunnel. The entrance was in the middle of the forest. Towering trees and the roars of birds and beasts could be heard from afar from time to time. Due to the proximity to the ocean, the entire forest was extremely humid. Poisonous insects, birds and beasts. This place was a paradise for ferocious beasts. Follow me. Wang Xian spoke to everyone and walked straight to the front. He scanned his surroundings with his bewitching eyes. The blood refinement ground was filled with danger. In his eyes there was no danger at all. Now let's begin my performance. Wang Xian revealed a smile. With his current strength, it was a piece of cake for him to tame a group of ferocious beasts below the insightful void realm. Follow behind. Scouts are scattered around the area. You must be careful. Long Xiaotian ordered loudly. A vigilant look appeared on his face as he followed behind Wang Xian. The two experts at the first level of the insightful void stage also braced themselves. This was a bloody place for blood refinement. Even the insightful void stage experts had the possibility of dying. They had no choice but to be careful. Chapter 1284, Beast Tamer Youth. The blood refinement ground was filled with danger. There were at least tens of thousands of people entering the blood refinement ground every day, or even more. However, there were at least thousands of people dying in there every day. This was a natural desolate domain. 80% of the mercenary groups in the demi-human graveyard were here to hunt fierce beasts and demon beasts. This was a dangerous place for all the forces in the Flowing Sea region. However, at this moment Long Xiaotian and all his subordinates were dumbfounded. Looking at Wang Xian, who was standing in front of the 6 transcendent level 8 beasts, all of them widened their eyes in disbelief. It had been 3 hours since Wang Xian and the rest entered the blood refinement ground. They followed behind Wang Xian and flew deeper into the sea. Along the way, they didn't encounter any beasts or any danger. On the contrary, once Wang Xian flew towards a certain place, he would definitely tame a few ferocious beasts that were at transcendent levels 6, 7, or even 8. This unbelievable ability left Long Xiaoyan's subordinates dumbfounded. Brother Wang Xian, your speed is insane. Furthermore, you can actually find ferocious beasts so easily. Long Xiaotian could not help but ask when he saw Wang Xian taming 6 level 8 extraordinary ferocious beasts. It's a powerful sensing ability. Wang Xian smiled faintly. Isn't the training ground full of ferocious beasts? It's still not dense enough. Young Master Wang. We only walked for 2 kilometers before we encountered more than 10 ferocious beasts. It's already very dense. Furthermore, we are now at the edge. If there are more ferocious beasts in the depths, there will be a herd of them. Elder Zhu looked at Wang Xian and said in a speechless manner. Looking at Wang Xian shuttling through the blood refinement grounds, they had a feeling that he was strolling through the back garden. Wang Xian nodded. All right, let's speed up. It would be best if we can encounter a group of ferocious beasts. This way, our speed will be faster. As he spoke, he rode on the spirit purple Qilin and flew into the distance. Wang Xian was traveling at a very fast speed. He didn't continue to tame 1 or 2 ferocious beasts alone. With the light and dark fire dragon eyes, he could see everything within a 2-kilometer radius clearly. Coupled with the divine dragon system, nothing could escape his detection. Furthermore, he could discover the hidden spiritual herbs immediately. Long Xiaotian and the rest followed behind Wang Xian obediently as they dashed into the depths of the blood refinement ground. There's a group of violent monkeys ahead. It's a pity that they can't be used as mounts. Wang Xian looked towards the tree ahead. There were more than 100 violent monkeys there. Their strength was generally at transcendent level 7 and above. There were also a few at transcendent level 9, and one at the half-step void interpretation stage. If an ordinary mercenary group encountered them, it would be difficult to fight them without a void interpretation stage powerhouse. Let's go. Without any hesitation, Wang Xian moved his body and dashed forward. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. With a wave of his arm, rays of golden light shot towards the violent monkeys. Chirp, 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 chirp. When the group of violent monkeys saw the humans, they immediately grinned. They stared at Wang Xian with ferocious expressions and pounced towards him. However, when rays of golden light landed on their bodies, the group of violent monkeys fell to the ground. Wang Xian waved his arm and kept them into his interspatial ring. These violent monkey corpses were used to condense blood essence. Long Xiaotian and his subordinates behind him widened their eyes and pursed their lips. Their faces were filled with shock. Brother Wang Xian's strength is definitely comparable to a powerhouse at the first level of the void interpretation stage. Long Xiaotian said in a low voice. Bai Qingshan and Elder Zhu nodded solemnly. Continue. Wang Xian's figure could be heard from the front. Everyone followed behind him obediently and flew deeper into the forest. They had killed over 1,000 ferocious beasts in a row, but none of them were suitable to be used as mounts. As they continued forward, they were completely unable to differentiate their direction in the dense forest. It was truly a primitive forest. As they walked inside, they felt extremely tiny. Have we reached the Beast Valley? After traveling for about 20 to 30 kilometers, Wang Xian stopped when he saw the ground in front of him sink. Brother Wang Xian, We are in the depths of the land of blood refinement. Be careful. Long Xiaotian and the rest stopped as well. They walked up to him and reminded him softly. Okay, let's go down. Wang Xian looked down and nodded. It was still a forest, but there was about half a meter of seawater inside. As it was lower than the sea level on the left, the seawater surged in. The seawater was half a meter deep, and there were dense seaweed growing on it. The area ahead was twice as dangerous as the previous location. There's a group of manatees ahead. When Wang Xian entered the sea, he looked to the left and saw more than 100 manatees eating grass. Each manatee was 5 meters in size and had a 2-meter-long rhino horn. The manatees were generally at Transcendent Level 8. Wang Xian revealed a smile. He moved his body and flew directly toward the manatees. Manatees belong to the aquatic species. With Wang Xian's current strength of Level 9 Transcendence, aquatic species below Level 9 Transcendence could be controlled directly. When Wang Xian flew over, he unleashed his dragon might, and the group of manatees knelt down in fear. Compared to taming the ferocious beasts on land, the aquatic species were much simpler. Let me help you tame the ferocious beasts first. After taming these ferocious beasts, there are only about 100 left. Wang Xian looked at the number of ferocious beasts and said with a smile. All right. Thank you, Brother Wang Xian. Long Xiaotian grinned from the side. For the next day, Wang Xian spent all his time helping them tame the ferocious beasts. As night fell, the entire area became darker. It was basically pitch black. There were only the roars of the beasts and the sound of the waves in the distance. Wang Xian and the rest did not move at night. Instead, they lit a fire and rested on the spot. Fuck, there are so many demonic beasts ambushing us in the blood refinement ground. Damn it. It's all because of what happened at the Heaven's Pride Bridge. The entire demon race lost face and came to take revenge on us. I have to say that the battle at the Heaven's Pride Bridge was really satisfying. The nameless sword demon is simply too strong. There's light ahead. There should be someone. Let's go around. At this moment, the sounds of conversation came from ahead. As the group of people spoke, the voices gradually disappeared. Demon Beast? Second Prince, young Master Wang. If there really are demon beasts ahead, we'd better not go any deeper. Otherwise, if we encounter danger, the gains will not be worth the losses. Bai Qingshan reminded them. Yes, although our strength is not weak, if we encounter a demonic beast of the second level of the see-through realm, there is basically no possibility of escaping. Long Xiaotian nodded his head in agreement. We are still lacking about 100 beasts. Let's look around and see if we can encounter a ferocious beast of the first level of the see-through realm. Wang Xian did not care too much about it. Chapter 1285, Young Beast Tamer. Hehe, alright. We can't force ourselves to meet a ferocious beast of the first level of the see-through realm. Long Xiaotian grinned when he heard Wang Xian's words. Wang Xian nodded with a smile as he scanned the surroundings with a smile. The group of people started to chat. Long Xiaotian's subordinates were also chatting excitedly. They were now 80% confident that their prince would become the crown prince and inherit the throne. As the first batch of loyal subordinates of the king of the Light Dragon dynasty in the future, their future would also soar. Some of the subordinates were discussing Wang Xian with admiration. They were only short of comparing him to the supreme genius. Chirp, 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 chirp. The night slowly passed. When a ray of sunlight broke through the sky, the chirping of a flock of birds woke everyone up. Wang Xian sensed the aura coming from the front and was slightly stunned. He immediately stood up and looked towards the sky. The fairy bird, a bird of light attribute. It possesses the bloodline of the insightful void tier. That is the leader of the fairy birds, the first level of the insightful void tier. When Wang Xian saw more than 10 white fairy birds flying in the sky, he was pleasantly surprised. Our luck is really good. Come, lock down this group of dodo birds. Wang Xian did not hesitate at all. He moved his body and flew directly into the sky. Void interpretation level ferocious beasts Go and help brother Wang Xian. We must capture that dodo bird. Long Xiaotian saw the white bird beast in the sky, and his eyes were filled with excitement. He quickly shouted loudly, "Yes! Yes!" Bai Qingshan and Elder Zhu did not hesitate at all. They knew very well that if they managed to capture this dodo bird, it could be the prince's mount. The two of them used all of their strength and flew straight into the sky. Roar! Ling Zilin and the blood evil turtle did not hesitate at all and flew straight into the sky. 2,000 meters in the sky, a group of dodo birds who were fleeing for their lives saw a group of experts who suddenly flew over from below. Their eyes turned red. Chirp chirp. The Seathrufflevel fairy bird flapped its 2-meter-wide wings. Rays of light shot towards Wang Xian. Under the sunlight, the wings flickered with a dazzling white glow. Roar roar! Ling Zilin and the blood evil turtle immediately sealed off the surroundings. Bai Qingshan and Elder Zhu immediately attacked the first-level Seathrufflevel fairy bird. Chirp chirp! After being attacked by several see-through realm experts consecutively, the dodo bird that was at the first level of the see-through realm let out a panicked cry. Wang Xian moved his arm and lightning struck what appeared in his hand. With a wave of his arm, a thorn easily wrapped itself around the dodo bird's claw. He pulled it gently, and the dodo bird that was at the first level of the see-through realm fell towards the ground. I've caught it, haha. Long Xiaotian looked excited when he saw this scene. Bang! Under the restraint of Wang Xian, Bai Qingshan and Elder Zhu immediately launched their attacks and pressed down on the dodo bird. The powerful force caused the dodo bird to land on the ground with a loud thud. Seawater splashed in all directions. Wang Xian looked at the dodo bird that was lying on the ground with a smile on his face. This was really a bird that had descended from the sky. Initially, he wanted to continue searching for it, but in the end, it flew over directly. The might in Wang Xian's body trembled and directly struck the head of the dodo bird, squeezing out a trace of blood. In less than 20 seconds, the dodo bird was easily tamed. Brother Wang Xian, there are still more than a dozen dodo birds here. Long Xiaotian revealed an excited expression when he saw Wang Xian taming it. He pointed at the other dozen dodo birds that were restrained at the side. These dozen of beasts were all at the half-step void interpretation level. One was at the first level of the void interpretation level, while the other dozen were at the half-step void interpretation level. If all of these beasts belonged to him, his strength would almost double. Who dares to capture my ferocious beasts? You're courting death. At this moment, an angry voice was suddenly heard, causing Wang Xian, Long Xiaotian, and the rest to be slightly stunned. That's right. Long Xiaotian raised his head and looked over. A hint of surprise flashed across his face as he looked at the group of people flying towards them with a solemn expression. There were more than 20 people in the group. Most of them were young men. Only 2 middle-aged men were around the young man in the middle. The young man's skin was fair and tender. He looked like a gigolo, but his face was filled with arrogance. When Long Xiaotian and the others were surprised, there were more than 20 fierce beasts behind them, and each of them was emitting a powerful aura. 3 of them were at least at the first level of the profound void tier. He looked over with an icy gaze. That's the Yin family. Long Xiaotian narrowed his eyes slightly and stared at the few men and women beside the young man in the center, his eyes flickering. Roar! 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 Behind them, Long Xiaotian and his men were riding on their mounts. They stared coldly at the group of people who were flying over. Ha! The young man in the lead ignored Long Xiaotian and his men. His gaze landed on Wang Xian and the dodo bird beside him. When he saw the dodo bird lying obediently beside Wang Xian, a hint of surprise flashed across his eyes. There were more than a dozen of them, and more than 20 ferocious beasts. Although their numbers were much smaller than Long Xiaotian and the rest, their powerful aura caused Bai Qingshan and Elder Zhu's expressions to change slightly. This group of fairy birds is ours. Hand them over. The young man with fair and tender skin raised his head slightly. He stared at Wang Xian and ordered. When Wang Xian heard the young man's words, his gaze swept toward the 2 middle-aged men beside him. His pupils constricted slightly. Yours? Then call them over. Wang Xian pondered for a moment and said expressionlessly. That's right. If you say it's yours, then it's yours. What proof do you have? Long Xiaotian took 2 steps forward and said coldly. It's the second prince of the Guanglong dynasty, Long Xiaotian. It's him. The men and women behind the young man looked at Long Xiaotian with astonishment in their eyes. This is the one we chased after. Moreover, that dodo bird is my pet. I order you to hand it over to me. The young man pointed at the insightful Void Realm dodo bird and said with a strong expression. Who do you think you are? You still order us? Hearing the young man's words, a trace of coldness appeared on Long Xiaotian's face. He was the prince of the Light Dragon dynasty. In the Flowing Sea region, the only one who had a higher status than him was the Blood Flow Empire. Even so, he was not afraid of the young masters of some families of the Blood Flow Empire. You're courting death. When the young man heard Long Xiaotian's words, the aura on his body trembled. A powerful aura of the first level of the Profound Void tier directly covered Long Xiaotian. Be careful, prince. Bai Qingshan and Elder Zhu's expressions changed slightly. They hurriedly stood in front of the young man and blocked the young man's aura. Young master, that young man is the prince of the Light Dragon dynasty. His power is not weak. Behind him, a girl quickly approached him and whispered to him. No matter who he is, the pet I like is mine. Give me the fairy bird. Young master, he arrogantly ignored him completely. Chapter 1286. 1286 Narcissistic Beast Tamer. An extremely arrogant attitude was displayed on the young man named He Xiaotian. Even when he heard Long Xiaotian's name, he still ignored him and stared at Wang Xian. The 2 middle-aged men standing beside He Xiaotian didn't say anything. They stood on both sides calmly. Your pet. Wang Xian heard his words and looked at the group of ferocious beasts behind him. He had a guess in his heart. If you let it pass, it should pass. We won't stop it. Let it go and take a look. He looked at young master He with a smile. Young master He raised his eyebrows slightly. A hint of curiosity flashed across his delicate and pretty face. He looked at the 2 level 1 void interpretation ferocious beasts beside Wang Xian. Then, he looked at the more than 200 mounts around him. I will tame them. As young master He spoke, he walked straight towards the dodo bird. Chirp chirp. When the dodo bird saw young master He walking over, a fierce look appeared in its eyes. Its sharp lips were flashing with light. Young master He snorted coldly. With a slight movement of his arm, 2 jade rings escaped directly towards the head of the dodo bird. Chirp chirp. When the dodo bird saw the 2 jade rings, a look of fear flashed through its eyes. It curled its lips, and a terrifying peck of light flew towards young master He. A trace of contempt appeared on young master He's face. His figure moved and the jade rings flickered, instantly appearing on the body of the dodo bird. The dodo bird was trapped by the jade rings, and it struggled violently. You still want to escape? A smile appeared on young master He's face as he walked over arrogantly. Stop! Long Xiaotian was furious when he saw that his dodo bird was taken away. He shouted loudly with a cold gaze. Wang Xian waved his hand at Long Xiaotian, asking him not to speak. This young man in front of him was not simple. To be able to be accompanied by 2 powerhouses at level 3 of the see-through realm, even a prince from the Bloodshed Empire might not be able to do it. If I say it's my pet, it's mine. A light attributed flying dodo bird. It's pretty. Young master He walked to the side of the flying dodo bird and revealed a faint smile. He looked at Wang Xian and grinned. Let me show you if it's obedient. As young master He spoke, he immediately squeezed out a trace of blood. With a move of his arm, he headed towards the head of the flying dodo bird. The fairy bird's eyes revealed fear and struggle. Beast taming technique. Young master He's beast taming technique is simply too strong. That's not it. Young master He has the exquisite heart. He can sense the heart of a fierce beast and control it. Taming a fierce beast shouldn't be too fast. At the back, The men and women of the Yin clan were discussing in low voices. Brother He later, can you give me a fairy bird? A pretty girl looked at young Master He with admiration and said softly. Sure, don't disturb me now. Young Master He nodded and smiled. Second Prince, don't be rash. This young man's identity is not simple. The two middle-aged men beside him are very terrifying. Bai Qingshan saw Long Xiaotian's angry face and raised his voice. Long Xiaotian nodded with a gloomy face and stared at young Master He with an unfriendly gaze. Beast taming technique? He is also a beast tamer. I think so. However, his beast taming technique should not be as powerful as young Master Wang's. Of course. How can there be a beast tamer Nian, who is even more powerful than young Master Wang in this world? The subordinates behind Long Xiaotian were astonished when they saw young Master He taming the dodo bird on the spot. They discussed in a low voice. Comparing beast taming skills with Brother He. In the front, the young lady from the Yin clan heard the discussion of Long Xiaotian's subordinates. She snorted softly and swept her gaze across Wang Xian. He is not someone that any one of us can compare with. He doesn't have the qualifications. I think he doesn't have the qualifications. Long Xiaotian snorted coldly. Compared to young Master He, the rest of the young beast tamers are like frogs in a well. A young man from the Yin clan shouted loudly. The few of them spoke in a tit-for-tat manner. The two middle-aged men remained silent. They looked at Wang Xian and the few ferocious beasts beside him. They exchanged a glance, and their eyes were filled with astonishment. They didn't have much hostility towards Wang Xian and his group. Of course, if the other party dared to offend the pride of their clan, they would naturally teach them a lesson. Long Xiaotian looked at young Master He and walked to Wang Xian's side with a sullen face. Brother Wang Xian, let's take a look here. Wang Xian didn't leave immediately. He looked at young Master He who was standing there and taming the dodo bird with a smile. He wanted to see how this arrogant young Master He tamed the dodo bird. Chirp chirp. After about 5 minutes, the dodo bird suddenly let out a weak cry. A hint of joy appeared in young Master He's eyes as he continued to tame the dodo bird with a smile on his face. When Wang Xian saw this scene, a faint smile appeared on his face. Time passed slowly. Young Master He stood beside the dodo bird for half an hour. He stood there and caressed the dodo bird. This scene caused Long Xiaotian's subordinates to frown slightly. Was this taming a beast? Why did it take so long? Haha, I'll call you Bai Ling from now on. After another 10 minutes, young Master He laughed loudly and patted the head of the dodo bird. Chirp chirp. The dodo bird lowered its head slightly and called out. Success! Too strong, young Master He is simply too strong. In less than an hour, he tamed another fierce beast. As expected of young Master He, his beast taming skills are unrivaled. Behind him, a few young men complimented him. It's not that simple. If you want to completely tame it, you will need at least a few more months. This is just a simple taming. Young Master He smiled faintly. He looked at Wang Xian, and the corner of his mouth curled up slightly. He said proudly, to be able to tame 2 beasts of the first level of the see-through realm, it seems like you are also a beast tamer. It's already not bad for you to have such achievements in this small area. I'll give you a chance. Follow me in the future, and help me manage my subordinates' pets. This kid's luck is really good. To think that he can follow young Master He in the future. To think that young Master He has taken a fancy to him. This kid will have a meteoric rise in the future. When the disciples of the Yin clan heard young Master He's words, they looked at Wang Xian with envy. When the 2 middle-aged men saw young Master He's way of handling the situation, their eyes were filled with admiration. In this small area, it was considered outstanding for a young man to be able to tame a ferocious beast of the first level of the see-through realm. He was qualified to follow the most outstanding son of heaven's pride in the He clan. When Wang Xian saw the arrogant young Master He, and heard the envious looks of the people behind him, and the admiration of the 2 middle-aged men, he felt a little overwhelmed. So narcissistic. Do you have to be so narcissistic? Is it because of your pretty face that gives you confidence? Wang Xian looked at him speechlessly. Chapter 1287. 1287. Who will be your underling? Go. Is it the confidence that your pretty boy gives you? When Wang Xian finished his sentence, young Master He, who was standing in front of Wang Xian with his head slightly raised, froze. Very soon, his expression started to change. From white to red, from red to black, his eyes were flashing with anger. In his life, he hated it the most when others called him a pretty boy, even though he did look like a pretty boy. I hate it the most when you say this to me. You're courting death. Bai Ling, teach him a lesson. His aura trembled as he charged at Wang Xian with a powerful aura. He waved his arm and pointed it at Wang Xian as he commanded the dodo bird. Hee. Wang Xian could feel his aura, and smiled when he saw him commanding the dodo bird. Chirp chirp. The dodo bird looked at Wang Xian, and let out a low growl. Shine on his face and make him whiter. Give him some confidence. Wang Xian was a little speechless as he ordered the dodo bird. Chirp chirp. The dodo bird didn't hesitate at all. The feathers on its body trembled slightly, and a white ray of light covered He Xiao directly, making him look spotlessly white. He looked like a saint. However, when He Xiaoya saw the dodo's ray of light enveloping him, his face flushed red rapidly. At the same time, a hint of shock appeared on his face. He stared at the dodo, and his expression kept changing. Chirp chirp. The dodo stood in front of Wang Xian, and stared at him with its cold eyes. How is this possible? He couldn't believe it. He had tamed this fairy bird for dozens of minutes. He had a rare and exquisite heart. On the path of beast taming, it was tens or even hundreds of times easier than others. However, the ferocious beast that he tamed didn't listen to him. This made him recall that before he came, this fairy bird was obviously tamed. However, even if it was just a simple taming, he could guarantee that the other party's taming skills were definitely inferior to his. However now, competing with brother Wang Xian in beast taming skills is really asking for humiliation. Long Xiaotian, who was at the side, saw this scene and revealed a mocking expression. He couldn't help but burst into laughter. The subordinates behind Long Xiaotian also felt amused. This was simply asking for humiliation. They had witnessed young Master Wang's beast taming technique with their own eyes. It could only be described as heaven-defying. This is impossible. I clearly tamed it easily just now. This was the first time young master, he had doubts about his beast taming technique. He growled in a low voice in disbelief. Brother Bai, I'm also a beast tamer. Don't think that your beast taming technique is the best in the world. Wang Xian said to young Master He with a smile on his face. My surname is He. Mind your words. When young Master He heard his sarcastic words, he stared at Wang Xian with a gloomy expression. He stared at the dodo bird and found it hard to accept. He raised his head abruptly and stared at Wang Xian coldly. As a beast tamer of the younger generation, I am the strongest. I want to challenge you. Challenge? Wang Xian raised his eyebrows and revealed a faint smile in his eyes. How do you want to challenge me? Beast taming. There are more than 10 dodo birds over there. Let's see who can tame them faster. Young Master He fixed his gaze on Wang Xian and pointed at the more than 10 dodo birds at the side. Sure. Wang Xian nodded with a smile. All right, let's begin immediately. I will let you know my beast taming skills. With a gloomy face, young Master He immediately walked towards the dozen dodo birds. When Wang Xian saw how serious he was, he suddenly felt that young Master He was rather interesting. His actions were obviously from a powerful family, and a canary that was perfectly protected by the family. Although it was a little inappropriate to describe a man in this way, it was indeed the case. He was much more innocent than the young men who had gone through battles in the graveyard of the demi-humans. Get over here. Young Master He walked over and stared at Wang Xian coldly. Wang Xian shrugged his shoulders and walked towards young Master He. Everyone looked over. Let's begin. Young master, he looked at Wang Xian coldly and said with a dark expression. Wang Xian nodded his head. Young master, he squeezed out a trace of blood and stretched out his hand. He touched the top of the dodo bird's head and closed his eyes slowly. Wang Xian smiled and walked to the side of a dodo. His aura trembled slightly. It was easy for Wang Xian to tame a half-step void interpretation level ferocious beast. In less than 5 seconds, he squeezed out a drop of blood and placed it into the dodo's mouth. He walked towards the next dodo. However, when they saw Wang Xian walking towards another dodo in just a few seconds, the young and middle-aged men of the Yin clan were shocked. However, when they saw the dodo bird submit to them, their eyes sparkled. How is this possible? It's only been a few seconds? How is it possible to tame a half-step void interpretation ferocious beast in just a few seconds? Oh my god! The young men of the Yin clan were filled with shock. Young master, he was the favored son of heaven from the He clan, a top force in the vast region. He had a unique physique and exquisite heart. He was also a top-notch favored son of heaven in the vast region. His beast-taming skills were heaven-defying. In the He clan, his status was comparable to those elders. If it wasn't for the fact that a beauty from the Yin clan married into the He clan, they wouldn't have gotten to know such an important figure. However, he was a top-notch genius in the vast region. How could he be inferior to a young man whom they got to know casually? This is... The two middle-aged men were also astonished as they looked at the speed of Wang Xian's beast-taming skills. In the past, there was a beast-taming expert who appeared in a small place like the Luhai region. I think his name was Bai Sun, an extremely crazy and arrogant fellow. If he didn't offend the dynasty, he wouldn't have been hunted down to the point of almost dying. I heard that he has already died. His beast-taming technique is similar to Bai Sun's. The speed of beginner-level beast-taming is extremely fast. The two middle-aged men whispered. This young man might have obtained Bai Sun's inheritance. It's possible. Huh. Wang Xian, who was taming the flying dodos, was slightly surprised when he heard the voices of the two middle-aged men. He didn't expect the other party to know that his beast-taming technique came from Bai Sun. Looks like this Bai Sun old man is quite famous. He thought to himself, but his hands did not stop moving. After he tamed more than 10 fairy birds, young master, he was still closing his eyes and taming them slowly. When everyone around saw the serious look on young master he's face, the corners of their mouths twitched slightly. Everyone else had tamed them. You did not even manage to tame one of them. Cough cough. Brother Bai, wake up. After Wang Xian finished his training, he couldn't help but cough when he saw young master, he was still there. Don't disturb me. Young master, he was furious when he heard Wang Xian calling him Brother Bai. However, he still didn't open his eyes so as not to disturb him. Chapter 1288. 1288. Who will be the underling? Get down. Little Yuan. The two middle-aged men saw Wang Xian standing there with a smile on his face. Seeing that his heaven's favorite was still taming the first ferocious beast, one of the middle-aged men couldn't help but call out. Uncle? Young master, he was slightly stunned when he heard the middle-aged man's voice. He opened his eyes. However, when he opened his eyes and saw Wang Xian standing in front of him, and more than 10 fairy birds beside him, he revealed a shocked expression. Slowly, his expression began to change drastically. Young brother, your beast-taming technique should be inherited from Bai Sun, right? A middle-aged man looked at Wang Xian and asked in a deep voice. That's right. By chance, I obtained the heritage of the Bai Sun master. Wang Xian nodded and did not hide anything. His beast-taming technique indeed originated from Bai Sun. However, his current beast-taming ability was definitely not something that the Bai Sun master could compare to. Bai Sun Elder? When young master he heard this name, he was slightly stunned. He thought of some of Bai Sun's deeds. Bai Sun Elder, you actually obtained Bai Sun Elder's inheritance. The essence of Bai Sun Elder's beast-taming technique is to dominate and become the king of fierce beasts. With the suppression of the bloodline, This method of taming low-level fierce beasts is very fast. However, he frowned and didn't say anything else. However, according to the records, Old Man Bai Sun's beast taming technique wasn't that fast. However, the records were just records. Although Old Man Bai Sun's beast taming technique is powerful, there is a drawback. Ferocious beasts are easily betrayed. When young master he saw the lark behind Wang Xian, he snorted coldly and said unwillingly, "That's right. You won against young master. He only because your beast taming skills are different. The strength of a beast tamer still depends on one's own strength. All spells are secondary. The most important thing is still one's strength. There's nothing to compare with a beast taming skill." The young men from the Yin clan saw that young master he was in a bad mood, and quickly tried to help him out. "HMPH, that's right. Strength comes first." Young master he found an excuse for himself, and said forcefully. Wang Xian was a little speechless. He shrugged his shoulders and said, "Whatever you say." When young master he saw Wang Xian's expression, he looked a little embarrassed. This made him feel a little humiliated. He who was competitive clenched his fists tightly. Wang Xian ignored him, and walked to the side with a dozen dodo birds. "I want to compete with you in terms of strength." Suddenly, young master he's figure appeared in front of him. He stared at him, and spoke with full of fighting spirit. Wang Xian looked at him and frowned slowly. "Compete in strength. You are not my match." "Not your match? We have not fought before. How can we not be your match? Kid, don't be arrogant." He Xiao glared at Wang Xian with a gloomy face. Seeing the competitive look of their own heaven's favorites, the two middle-aged men shook their heads slowly. However, they didn't stop him. This time, they brought him out because the clan leader wanted to bring him to the tomb of the humans and demons for training. The tomb of the humans and demons was considered a relatively bloody and cruel place. Moreover, the danger level of the tomb of the humans and demons wasn't very high in the eyes of the He clan. The clan leader was obviously aware of the deficiency in He Yuan's state of mind, and asked him to come here to gain some experience. "Pretty boy, you have provoked me time and time again. Do you want me to accept the challenge in vain? What if you lose?" Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly, and said to He Yuan, "I lose. How is this possible? It's impossible for me to lose." When He Yuan heard Wang Xian's words about being a pretty boy, he glared at him angrily and gnashed his teeth. "You didn't believe that you would lose just now." Wang Xian said plainly. All right. If I lose, I'll be at your disposal. But if you lose, give me the beast taming technique of the Bai Sun master." He Yuan stared at Wang Xian coldly. "All right, I'm not interested in dealing with you. 100,000 spiritual liquid. The beast taming technique of the Bai Sun master is worth more than that. Give me 100,000 spiritual liquid. Also, don't be so narcissistic in front of me in the future. Call me big brother when you see me." Wang Xian said with a smile. "All right, 100,000 it is. If I lose, so what if I call you big brother? But if you lose, you will follow me in the future and serve my pet." He Yuan gritted his teeth and said, "You are really shameless. However, I agree." Wang Xian saw that He Yuan had added another condition, and said speechlessly. However, he naturally wouldn't reject it. He was taking 100,000 spiritual liquid for free. Looking at this pretty boy, he felt that this guy was a little cute. At least, he wasn't like the good-for-nothing disciples from other big forces. He didn't have too many schemes either. It was much easier to communicate with such a tsundere person. All right. I, He Yuan, will accept you as my follower." He Yuan stared at Wang Xian arrogantly and roared loudly. "Roar, lion daughter, Ao Yuan. Roar! Roar!" With He Yuan's order, 3 void interpretation level ferocious beasts flew over from behind. The other 20 or so ferocious beasts followed closely behind him. They stood behind him in an orderly manner, and looked menacing. The group of people around hurriedly retreated. Long Xiaoyan's expression changed slightly when he saw the 3 level 1 void interpretation level ferocious beasts under him, and the 20 or so half-step void interpretation level ferocious beasts. Brother Wang Xian, be careful. Long Xiaotian quickly reminded him. Don't worry. Wang Xian nodded his head and faced He Yuan slowly. Ling Zilin. And the blood evil turtle came to his side. The void interpretation level dodos, and more than 10 half-step void interpretation level dodos, also came to his side. Roar! Roar! The group of beasts roared. HMPH, today, I will defeat you and let you know my strength. He Yuan snorted coldly. The strength of a level 1 void interpretation realm expert was emitted from his body. Go! Go! With a command, all the ferocious beasts behind him charged toward Wang Xian. Ling Zilin and the rest of the ferocious beasts didn't need to give orders. They charged forward directly. 3 level 1 void interpretation realm ferocious beasts against 3 level 1 void interpretation realm ferocious beasts. It could be said that they were evenly matched. He Yuan had more than 20 half-step void interpretation realm ferocious beasts against more than 10 half-step void interpretation realm ferocious beasts. He had the upper hand. Wang Xian didn't mind. He moved his palm and lightning wood appeared in his hand. He Yuan also moved his palm slightly, and a wood-attributed staff appeared in his hand. His wood-attributed staff was emitting a bright light. It was at least a level 3 void interpretation weapon. Following that, he moved his palm again, and 2 wood-attributed bracelets were attached to his arm. They were still at least level 3 void interpretation weapons. If he were to include his armor, shoes, and the like, he would have at least 5 level 3 void interpretation weapons. He Yuan was almost armed to the teeth. Upon seeing the equipment on He Yuan, Long Xiaotian's expression changed drastically. Such luxurious equipment, even if he were to become the crown prince, he would not be able to get it. Brother Wang Xian, be careful. He quickly reminded loudly with a hint of worry in his eyes. With such powerful equipment, coupled with his strength of a level 1 insightful void tier, it would be very difficult for him to fight against a level 1 insightful void tier. Chapter 1289. 1289. Haha, that young man is obviously no match for young Master He. Of course, not to mention the powerful fierce beasts under young Master He. Even his own strength is definitely not something that young man can compare to. Young Master He, teach that guy a lesson and let him know how powerful you are. Seeing the weapon in He Yuan's hand, the young men of the Yin clan had a burning look in their eyes as they flattered him from behind. Unless that youth is at the 2nd level of the profound void tier, he is absolutely not a match for little Yuan. That's right, be careful later, don't injure your life. The 2 middle-aged men looked at this scene with smiles on their faces as they stood at the side, ready to attack at any time. Roar, roar. The roars of fierce beasts rang out, and the group of fierce beasts had already engaged in a fierce battle. Young Master Wang. Around them, Long Xiaotian's subordinates were also shouting with worried faces. Haha, don't worry. No matter what, he is my follower today. I will not let him get hurt too badly. When He Yuan heard the voices of Long Xiaotian and the rest, he laughed heartily in his heart. Wang Xian looked at the somewhat smug He Yuan and revealed a smile on his face. He waved the lightning strike wood in his hand and numerous thorns attacked He Yuan. Brother Wang Xian, aren't you of the metal and water attributes? Why is it wood and water? Long Xiaotian, who was standing at the side, was surprised when he saw Wang Xian's attack. Could it be that he had obtained a special heaven and earth water attribute? Wood attribute? Haha, you still dare to use the wood attribute in front of me. He Yuan showed a hint of disdain in his eyes. He waved the staff in his hand, and the trees within a radius of 1,000 meters in front of him attacked Wang Xian directly. Hee. Wang Xian smiled faintly. Water tomb, earth burial entanglement. Wang Xian waved the lightning strike wood in his hand again. There was already half a meter deep sea water below them. After Wang Xian used it, it was completely silent. With his current strength, even if He Yuan was equipped with powerful equipment, he could still defeat him easily. He Yuan was slightly stunned by the unexpected restraint. Following that, he felt a strong entangling force coming from the water. What? He Yuan's expression changed drastically. Thousand Thorn Slash. He swung the staff in his hand down heavily. However, what shocked him was that his attack did not break the thorns that were wrapped around his legs. The strong tearing force was still transmitted. Oh no, Myriad Wood Protection! He shouted loudly immediately. His entire body emitted a bright green glow. Numerous thorns were surrounding him. Explode Water Danger Explosion. Wang Xian shook his arm and unleashed his water attribute divine ability. Boom, boom, boom. The powerful attack force caused the defense that he had yet to form to explode. What? Dual attributes. Dual attributes. The two middle-aged men who were watching by the side had a drastic change in expression. They cried out involuntarily. What this? Even He Yuan's expression changed drastically, as he felt the powerful tearing force coming from beneath him, and the terrifying water attribute divine ability in the surroundings. A hint of fear appeared in his eyes. Little Yuan is no match for him. Dual attributes. He can almost fight across levels. The two middle-aged men looked at each other. Without any hesitation, they flew straight towards the battlefield. All right, little brother, let's call it a day. A middle-aged man roared in a deep voice as he looked at Wang Xian in shock. Dual attributes. A powerful beast tamer. No one knew what kind of bloodline he had. However, they could guess that this young man's bloodline was definitely extraordinary. I really didn't expect that there would be such a powerful heaven's favorite in such a small domain like the Flowing Sea region. Coupled with the nameless sword demon, could it be that there will be a top-notch expert rising up in the Flowing Sea region? The two of them thought to themselves in surprise. They came to He Yuan's side and waved their arms to help him cut off the thorns that were entangling him. When Wang Xian saw them making their move, a smile appeared on his face. He looked at He Yuan and shouted mockingly, "How is it, little brother? Are you convinced?" At this moment, He Yuan was still in a state of shock. When he saw Wang Xian's mocking expression, his expression kept changing. However, he had to admit that he had lost. Moreover, he had lost completely. Dual attributes. You actually have dual attributes. What kind of bloodline do you have? To become a beast tamer, one had to have a bloodline. He Yuan was a little surprised as to what kind of bloodline Wang Xian had. In the supernatural continent, dual attribute demonic beasts existed. However, due to the preciousness of this bloodline, it had not appeared for thousands of years. Haha, I'm stronger than you anyway. Wang Xian laughed out loud. I'm just asking if you admit defeat, pretty boy. You. He Yuan's expression kept changing. He had lost in the beast taming competition, and he had also lost in the battle of strength. Wasn't he one of the top heaven's favorites in the vast region? Was this the central region of the Transcendence continent? I admit defeat. You won't go back on your word, right? Wang Xian looked at him and asked with a smile. I, He Yuan, am a man of my word. HMPH, here you are. This is 100,000 spirit liquid. He Yuan handed a few porcelain bottles to Wang Xian with an embarrassed expression. Then how about calling me big brother again? Haha. Wang Xian took the porcelain bottles and laughed loudly as he continued to speak. Big. He Yuan's body was trembling slightly. It was difficult for him to call this fellow big brother. Big brother. However, when he saw Wang Xian's mocking expression, he gritted his teeth and shouted loudly. The young men of the Yin clan were stunned when they heard Wang Xian call him big brother. He was a top-notch heaven's favorite of the He clan, yet he was calling him big brother. And this was the extremely arrogant young master he these few days. Where did the pride that came from his soul go? The two middle-aged men didn't say anything when they saw this scene. They had witnessed this matter from the beginning to the end. Naturally, they wouldn't attack Wang Xian directly because of such a small matter. Furthermore, they did not sense Wang Xian's hostility. All right, little brother, you're a good boy now. Wang Xian smiled. One day, I will come for revenge. He Yuan looked at Wang Xian's smug look and swore through gritted teeth. Welcome. Wang Xian smiled and kept the spiritual liquid. 100,000 spiritual liquid, and 70 million dragon crystals. Happy to have it. Humph. He Yuan turned around with a face full of anger. He wanted to leave immediately. Wait. Looking at He Yuan's figure, a smile flashed across Wang Xian's eyes. It was not easy to meet a rich person who could still see eye to eye with him. How could Wang Xian let him leave immediately? Naturally, he had to get more spiritual liquid from him. Speak quickly if you have anything to say. He Yuan turned his head to look at Wang Xian with an embarrassed expression and roared in a deep voice. Do you want to buy the beast-taming inheritance of the old man of Baisun? Wang Xian asked with a smile. Yes, yes. He Yuan's heart skipped a beat. A hint of surprise flashed across his eyes as he hurriedly shouted. For the first time, he felt that this fellow was not that annoying. Although the beast-taming skills of the old man of Baisun were not that important to him. As a beast-tamer, he naturally wanted to master more beast-taming skills. 200,000 spiritual liquid. Wang Xian said faintly. He Yuan. Chapter 1290. 1290 Ling Jian Yar's invitation letter. 200,000 spiritual liquid was not a small amount. If converted to spiritual stones, it would be at least 1 trillion. He had obtained the title of the Supreme Prodigy, and the amount of dragon crystals he obtained was only over 200 million. The 100,000 spiritual liquid he obtained just now, together with the 200,000 spiritual liquid, was equivalent to over 200 million dragon crystals. Even though He Yuan had an extraordinary status, he could not take out so much spiritual liquid at once. Furthermore, he had already lost 100,000 spiritual liquid to Wang Xian. Aren't you trying to scam me? He Yuan couldn't help but shout at Wang Xian with a furious expression. It's a little expensive. Let's take 100,000 spiritual liquid then. Wang Xian also felt that the price he wanted was a little too high. He lowered the price by 100,000 with a smile on his face. HMPH, that's more like it. He Yuan snorted coldly and immediately looked at his interspatial ring. However, his expression quickly turned stiff. I have no more spiritual liquid here. I only have 10,000 essence blood. I'll give you the rest of the spiritual liquid in 2 days. He Yuan took out a porcelain bottle and gestured at him. All right, I feel that you as a young master will not go back on your word. Wang Xian waved his arm, and threw the beast tamer technique that he obtained from old man Baisun directly to him. The beast tamer technique was not of much use to Wang Xian. Moreover, it was definitely worth it to exchange for 100,000 spiritual liquid. He Yuan looked at the secret manual that Wang Xian threw to him with some surprise. He took a glance at it. His impression of Wang Xian had changed a lot. Alright, He Yuan will naturally not do such a despicable thing. Tell me a place, and I will get someone to send it over. He Yuan raised his head slightly and said to Wang Xian, Alright, you can get someone to send it directly to the island of the Guanglong dynasty. Wang Xian nodded his head. It will definitely be delivered within 3 days. He Yuan promised. Alright. Wang Xian responded and looked at Long Xiaotian. Brother Wang Xian, let's go back now. We can go back first, he. Long Xiaotian looked at the first-level void interpretation realm dodo bird beside Wang Xian, and a dozen other half-step void interpretation realm dodos. His eyes lit up as he spoke. Alright, let's go back. Wang Xian nodded with a smile. He knew that Long Xiaotian couldn't wait to go back and tame them. Furthermore, with the dozen of half-step void interpretation realm dodos, the influence of his subordinates had almost doubled. Let's go back. Long Xiaotian shouted and glanced at He Yuan and the others with a red face. Let's go. Long Xiaotian and the others also shouted at their mounts with excitement. Brother He, are you going back too? When they returned and saw He Yuan and the others in the same direction, Long Xiaotian hesitated and asked. Let's go back. He Yuan looked at Long Xiaotian, who still appeared a little arrogant. However, he looked at Wang Xian curiously and said, This person, I wonder which family you come from. How can you be so strong? I come from a small country. My strength isn't that strong. At the very least, I can't be compared to the supreme heaven's favorites here. Wang Xian said indifferently, praising himself in a disguised manner. Nameless sword demon, is it? I've heard of this person before. To be able to defeat a demonic beast of the second level of the see-through realm easily. And he's only 26 years old. He's indeed very heaven-defying. As He Yuan spoke, he frowned slightly. He was one of the top heaven's favorites in the vast region. However, to come to this small place, and have two contemporaries who were stronger than him, this made him feel a little uncomfortable. This brother's strength is also very powerful. He has 3 insightful void-level fierce beasts, and more than 20 half-step insightful void-level fierce beasts under him. Among his contemporaries, there are few who can match him. Long Xiaotian said with a smile. These are just some of my pets. At home, I still have 3 insightful void-level pets. If I bring all of them here, I won't lose our competition. When He Yuan heard Long Xiaotian's praise, he raised his head in enjoyment and said, 3 more? That's impressive. Long Xiaotian's eyes were filled with astonishment. He didn't flatter him. To have 6 pets at the first level of the insightful void tier, at such a young age, was indeed heaven-defying. He Yuan smiled, and his face was filled with pride. In the future, I want to build a strong pet army. An army that is even more powerful than the old man Baisun. Is the old man of Baisun very famous in the vast region? Wang Xian asked He Yuan curiously. Famous, of course he is famous. More than 100 years ago, the old man of Baisun had 5 pets at the peak of the 6th level of the see-through realm. Don't you think they are powerful? There are more than 100 pets above the see-through realm. Their strength is simply heaven-defying. However, they were too arrogant and provoked. He Yuan began to explain to Wang Xian about the deeds of the 100 patrol masters. During the rest of the journey, Wang Xian, Long Xiaotian, and He Yuan started to chat. He Yuan came from a vast region, so he was naturally more knowledgeable. As the prince of the Light Dragon dynasty, Long Xiaotian was also very knowledgeable. Wang Xian was considered to be the least knowledgeable among the 3 of them. However, Wang Xian was the strongest. Long Xiaotian was close to him, so He Yuan was obviously superior to Long Xiaotian. When the young men of the Yin clan saw young master, he conversing with the second prince of the Guanglong dynasty, and the young man who defeated young master they were slightly envious. They were not on equal terms with young master at all. Perhaps, only Long Xiaotian, who had a high chance of inheriting the throne, and the young man who defeated young master, were qualified to have a normal conversation with him. The 2 middle-aged men behind him saw He Yuan conversing with him, and were more supportive. He Yuan came out to train mainly to train his heart. Brother He Yuan, how long have you been in the transvestite graveyard? Long Xiaotian asked He Yuan as they walked out of the blood refinement ground. I've only been here for half a month, and I've spent most of my time in the blood refinement ground. I need to rest well for the next few days. He Yuan replied to Long Xiaotian. Oh, then, brother He Yuan, if you want to take a stroll around the tomb of the demi-human, you can come and look for us. I'm the host here. I'll bring you around to have some fun. Long Xiaotian looked at Wang Xian and said with a smile. Wang Xian nodded his head in agreement at the side. Sure. Of course, there's no problem. Let's do it tomorrow. I'll deliver the rest of the spiritual liquid to brother Wang Xian tomorrow morning. He Yuan also revealed a smile and nodded his head. Haha, alright. How about brother Wang Xian? There are still a lot of fun to be had in the human demon graveyard. Long Xiaotian laughed out loud and looked at Wang Xian. Sure. Wang Xian nodded his head. Apparently, Long Xiaotian also wanted to befriend someone with a deep background like young master he. Wang Xian didn't have much to do recently. The 3 of them agreed on a time. When they arrived at the edge of the tomb of the demi-human, they separated from He Yuan and the rest. Wang Xian followed Long Xiaotian to the island of the Guanglong dynasty and tamed the ferocious beast. Then, he returned to his own residence. This is... When he returned to his room, He was slightly stunned when he saw an invitation card on the table in the courtyard. Ling Jian Yar's invitation card. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.